Good morning. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. It's time for a Friday afternoon trial live stream because, well, yesterday I got real invested and now I'm real invested and I want to talk to you about it. And this morning I had a speaking engagement for a nonprofit organization and saw all of the things go down before and after I talked. And I was like, oh my goodness. It is time. And so many of you reached out and let me know how much this community means to you, how much being able to have a conversation in a compassionate way in this community matters to you. And so, for all of you that reached out, especially those of you that reached out that were directly impacted, thank you. It was a huge part of my decision to stream today because our community is so special and it gives a place for people to have these conversations and feel like they're not going to be torn down. We're not going to name call witnesses. We're not going to shame people. We are here to talk about this case and what's going on and call out the nonsense when need be. So I'm going to roll the intro. We're going to look a little bit at what happened this morning while they're still on lunch break, because there are some very important legal aspects we need to talk about that Mr. Brooks would have known had he had a lawyer that wasn't him. So for those of you that are just catching up on this case is over the Waukesha, Wisconsin parade killing. Darrell Brooks is accused of driving his vehicle down the parade route, killing 6, injuring over 60. And in that, he has chosen to represent himself. Choosing to represent himself has led to some really wild moments in court. He is extemporaneous. He is difficult. He is yelling at the judge like he's out on the street, like he's not in a court of law. It's wild. So the chat's saying they've been back from lunch. The feed that I'm on does not show that they are back. Oh, it does now. I had to update it. So they are live. So we're going to just go to the live. If we have a break, we'll go to what happened this morning and I will talk about what's going on. So give me a second. Let me roll the intro and we are going to go. So thank you. They came back a little earlier than I thought. And I was monitoring the feed, but it wasn't rolling. All right, let's go. Hey there. If we haven't met yet, I'm Emily D. Baker, the badass lawyer and everyone's favorite legal commentator. I'm the host of The Emily Show, and I break down the legal shit behind the news and pop culture stories we all want to talk about. I have been a licensed attorney for over 15 years, but this is not legal advice. I should warn you, I'm a big fan of the cursey words. This channel is where the law nerds unite to talk about facts, not fuckery. All right, I'm getting this stream pulled up, and as we did yesterday, if we have any issues, I will make sure that we try to address those. The feed I've been using does not have closed captioning, but it also doesn't have a lower third. So let me go to screen share, and we will get that rolling. I know that there are those who like feeds from from the people who like to copyright strike channels, Law and Crime, even though they can't and shouldn't, they do anyway. So we're going to make sure that we are not dealing with their nonsense. And then if we have a break, we'll pull up some of the nonsense that happened this morning. Right now, we've got Darrell Brooks going over whether he can bring photos in. Those photos are allegedly sent.
Mr. Brooks is referring to, I can maybe help and try and explain, but
sure.
I don't know what he's talking
Oh,
about.
it's just too quiet. Those photos are allegedly sent by the last witness while he was in custody. The prosecution has brought up multiple times that if that is something he wants to bring up, that his history with that witness, including the fact that he is a registered sex offender because of his relations with her when she was a minor, including getting her pregnant when she was a minor, is going to be is going to come in.
6 from Detective Barron's report under Waukesha Police Department incident number 21-047533. This is one of the 2 reports we've been talking about regarding the statements that Ms. Patterson gave to detectives on November 21st and then on November 22nd. This is the first statement.
I wish I could make this louder, but
Is that the officer you just said?
Yes.
it's giving me no. And he's standing up with the mask back on.
What about that report do you want to question this witness about?
The report is not in order, so
They're keeping a tight rein on him. He's been opening a door.
These are your witnesses, so what questions.
She's giving him too much
about
leeway.
that report, do you want to question Ms. Patterson on?
Your Honor, I just stated 3 times, I would have to read a
No,
little bit of this.
You had
to
that.
form the question.
no, you had that.
Under my authority, under 90611.
Move on.
And given that this witness was initially called by the state, there was a full and fair opportunity for cross-examination by Mr. Brooks at that time, and they had ample time this morning to question her. I will declare that
He's done.
his questioning of her to
It's
be
done.
closed.
Yep.
I will bring the witness out on the witness
He's
stand
wasting
when-
time.
And then we'll bring the jury out, and then I will simply ask the state if there are any questions, and then we'll move on from there.
Just so I understand what he mean by closed.
The volume is low.
I'm not allowing you to ask her any additional questions, given your full and fair opportunity that you had previously
It's as high as it
when
goes.
she was called by the state, and given the opportunity you had this morning and your failure to identify for this court any probative and relevant information that she would testify to about what's in that report.
How do I, first of all, the report isn't even in order.
How do
So I
I?
would have to essentially read
You have it.
at least some of it.
You
to
already had it.
even ask a
Mr. Brooks,
question.
this is your witness. I expect that you will be prepared and you will not cause delay by
Yep.
any lack thereof. So I'm bringing the witness out, the jury will come out, and you will not have another
Sir?
opportunity to ask any additional.
You're your
questions
own
unless the
lawyer.
State asks questions on cross-examination.
You're your own lawyer.
So what is we bringing the witness out for
I
then?
have
if
to do
can't-
that in front of the jury.
Man, I
You-
object to that ruling too. Can you give me a lawful law why?
Your objection is noted for the record. If
You
start
are your own
interrupting me
lawyer.
When the jury comes out or make any commentary, you will be removed to the other courtroom, and you will, and that's,
So I'm being held in contempt again?
no, it's not contempt, sir.
It's
a
not
finding
contempt.
Under Illinois versus Allen, it's a warning that you will forfeit your
So I
right
might
to
as
be
well just, I might as
present.
well have
It's
just
no
stayed
such
over there.
It's a
contempt finding.
timeout,
I might
sir.
as well have just stayed over there then if I was
Mr.
gonna get held in
Brooks,
contempt.
that decision is for you and you alone to make, and it is based on your conduct. If you're gonna
Just take me over
continue,
there. Just take me over there because I'm not.
Law
I'm
and
not gonna
Crime
get held in
Copyright
contempt
Strikes
for nothing.
channels.
I have not held you in contempt.
You did.
You're
You're
a
attempting
For
to
using
hold
their
me in
logo.
contempt. That's what that is.
No, that's not contempt.
So is it civil or criminal?
Stop explaining to him, Your Honor.
Why am I being
Mr.
held in
Brooks?
contempt?
You're not. You're being removed for being disruptive. Stop explaining to him. You give him room to
I'm gonna
argue.
keep you in
Stop
here
it.
because
That's the
Stop
whole
it.
You're
reason I
gonna need
didn't
to
want to
call the
come.
next witness, and I'm gonna need
Your
to
Honor.
bring you over in any event.
That's the whole reason why I didn't want to come over here because you was gonna find a reason to hold me in contempt.
Nobody's
I'm
holding you in
finding a
contempt.
reason, and it's not contempt, I would find a reason to remove you based upon your disruptive
Well, then
outbursts
remove me if
and
that's
your-
what you want to do. Remove me then.
I
Go
don't wanna
then.
do it, sir. I want
Obviously
you
you
in this
do.
courtroom.
Obviously you do. You brought it up before we can even
Hey.
get to.
All right.
Stop yelling.
Mr. Brooks has forfeited
Bruh.
his right to be present in this courtroom for the remainder of this witness. Even
So
though it will be
did I
short,
actually forfeit that right?
you have forfeited your right to be present.
And
As
how
you-
did I forfeit that right, Your Honor?
By not shutting the fuck up.
We're going off the record so that he can be removed to the other courtroom, and he can call his next witness after we complete with Ms. Patterson and giving the state an opportunity from the neighboring courtroom. And once you can promise to this court that you will abide by the rules of decorum and civility, and if you're willing to conduct yourself consistently within that, then I will allow you to come back over.
So why am I being held in contempt now?
I'm not holding you in
Then
contempt.
what did I do?
All right, I'm gonna step off. You've interrupted repeatedly. I'm gonna step off.
All right, I'm going to answer a few questions while they're out of the court because we just popped into the middle of it. They had a quick lunch. They had an early lunch break because the judge was so frustrated before lunch. If there's a longer break, we will take a look at what happened before lunch. He's asking if the contempt is civil or criminal. That's what I took away from it. He doesn't mean that, or he doesn't really know what he means because he doesn't understand. What happened this morning is his ex was on the stand. The mother of his child was on the stand. And he had really no new questions to ask her because he had no idea what he's asking. He has been off the rails this morning with the delay tactics. The court seems very frustrated. The DA seems very frustrated. The judge needs to stop and saying, this is my ruling, this is my ruling, this is my ruling, and keep it moving. That's all she can do at this point, and not move forward. So I know some of you are talking about the court sound. I'm going to see real quick if we can pull up a different feed. and get a little bit better sound. It is gained up as high as I can get it on my end. So I will try that when they come back into the courtroom. I hate using feeds with a lower third. We can't use court TV because court TV is so delayed because they add commercials in because they do it for TV. So we will try the local Fox 6 Milwaukee and see how that works. What was going on before this morning is that the defendant who is representing himself, Brooks, wanted to bring in photos that he said was sent from Erica, the witness. And with that, he wanted to bring in a letter, but the letter's back at the jail, not in court. And he wanted to open the door to go into their relationship. He said that he wanted to get into these photos and she wasn't afraid of him and blah, 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 blah. What the prosecutors pointed out is that if he goes that route, they're going to bring up his whole relationship with her, including the fact that he impregnated her when she was a minor and he was not, that he was convicted for that and he's a registered sex offender, amongst other things. He is opening the door to information that is otherwise kept out for being more prejudicial than probative. All prejudicial evidence doesn't stay out. It's a balance. And right now, this balance is weighing in his favor. It's more prejudicial. Whether he is a registered sex offender or not is irrelevant to whether he drove the car down the parade route and killed people. That is irrelevant. But with regard to, oh, I'm hearing court coming back. Okay. Or that, no, sorry, I was hearing something, that's them elsewhere. Yes, I've chosen another channel to hear the feed. So I get highly distracted by noise. For those of you that are new, I'm ADHD, so you will see it in full effect while we live stream contemporaneously. So they're putting him in the other courtroom. So with that, the door normally wouldn't be open, but he was pushing it and the DA laid it out. And they are still trying to not bring that in because that status and those prior bad acts aren't relevant to this case until and unless he makes it relevant. And they are bending over backwards trying to prevent him from making it relevant. He doesn't give a fuck. They are trying to protect this case, but he's forcing the issue and they are explaining so much. I was using TMJ4. Their volume level is spot on when I'm listening to them. That's what I was using on their stream on YouTube. I've switched streams and we'll see. So if the whole stream volume level is low, I mean, I've gained me down, so I won't be louder than the court. So I've got the court gained up and I've got me gained down, but we will see what we can do. So hopefully we will be able to get it dialed in. I have a new soundboard from when we did Depp v. Heard. So it's all me trying to fix it. So it's just been kind of a wild morning. He is not back yet. So we're going to take a quick look at what happened this morning while they're getting this done. When court comes back, we will switch back over there. Oh, wait, what's coming back? I heard it. All right, we're gonna take a look at this morning because it was so wild, and that gives us context for where we are now. Law and crime. This is fair use commentary. Don't be dicks about it. All right.
Without having that letter.
This is, are the photos coming in? Are the photos coming in without the letter where the photos were allegedly sent? We're gonna find out more about that in just a second.
The state has the ability to question you about that, or question this witness, and to look at the veracity of what your claims are here.
That's how trial works, bruh.
So when I may take an early lunch.
She did.
If that's in your cell, then you can go get it and bring it. But without that letter, I'm not allowing this line of questioning.
The disrespect. Just the disrespect.
Do you have the letter with you in court?
I just said no. How many times I gotta say the same thing on record?
The disrespect.
You know, sometimes, sir, I don't hear what you say because you interrupt me so much or you answer quietly. And I'm taking notes and I'm
Control.
focused on probably a dozen things
Control,
at the same time.
control,
But
control.
if I say something under my breath, everybody seems to hear it. Everybody seems to hear
In
that.
a
When you're
just
sitting
fine.
down, you're on the
courtroom,
mic.
yes, you can hear it very
And
clearly.
everybody assumes that it has to be disparaging. Or,
Once again, you're doing this tactic.
Because
where you try to
it's not a
go
tactic,
off
it's
of what
facts.
we're talking
Arguing with
about
him.
to some other reason.
it's facts.
to
Because
some
I
other
find it
thing.
hard to believe that
Excuse me, I
I'm
have
gonna
facts
let
all
the
of a
trademarked.
sudden
state-
nobody hears what
I'm
I say.
teasing, I don't.
I'm gonna let the
Come on,
state
man,
make a
stop.
record of why they
Stop.
believe it's objectionable, because I haven't let them do that. I've given you multiple opportunities to tell me why you
So
believe
I
it's.
didn't get these pictures from nobody else. Why was
The
somebody
record will
else
reflect you have 2 pictures that you believe were from
Just
this
wait.
witness.
that
Just
I know
wait.
is from
No,
just
that you
wait.
believe.
that I know?
All right. I'll
That
ask the
assumes
state
facts, not
their
evidence.
position on all of this.
My position, Your Honor, is that these pictures, first of all, should not be admissible. One, because of a discovery violation.
Bro's
We've
mad.
never seen them before. Two, because we have reason to believe that he did not get them from Erica Patterson. He is on a jail phone call
Well,
talking to
there
his
it
mother,
is.
Dawn Woods, about Dawn Woods sending these photographs to him.
His mom.
That's a lie. I object to
Let the
that.
state make
That's
their
a
argument
lie.
without
That's not a
interruption,
legal
sir.
argument.
Three, I believe that these photographs are designed to make a suggestion to the jury that Erica Patterson is a bad mom. I think that is what the
I
defendant
like
is
this
trying
lawyer.
to do. And if we're gonna go down that road, then we would be forced to counter that claim. First of all, it doesn't make her an incredible witness, if it's even true. And second of all, if we go down that road, we would
Please
be.
have the jury brought out and make sure all the monitors are.
When he says incredible witness, he doesn't mean
You are
outstanding.
unmuted, sir.
He means
The jury
lacking
is
in
on its way
credibility.
in. Well, we'll be shortly.
So I didn't want to finish that. We had to pause, but this is the DA.
I'm going to mute you if you do that, sir. Mute you if you do that, sir.
I'm not gonna do it when the jury. That's why I asked now before the jury came in.
I addressed that in my opening type remarks and record when we came back on the record.
And that's
today.
why he's
I
being
already
put
addressed that.
in the other room so
would
he
it
can be
proved for
muted.
the record? Will I at least be told why I'm held in contempt? when I
You're
didn't
not
do
being
that?
held in
Civil or
contempt.
criminal?
That's a misstatement of what I did, sir.
It's absolutely correct. So,
So why am I
I
over
will
here?
advise when the jury's coming in, and if you can't be quiet, you're going to be muted, sir.
You gonna mute me anyway?
oh no,
Be
it's
quiet.
factual, Janie.
So I gotta be quiet like a little kid?
Yes,
Not what I said,
you've got to
sir.
be quiet like a lawyer in
You have to
court.
be
That's what you
respectful.
said.
You have to be respectful of the proceedings.
But nobody has to be respectful to me though.
That's a mischaracterization as well.
So Janie, we will go
So
over
can I-
that. She
can I
needs to
say
stop
for the record
arguing back
that,
with him.
uh,
We can go over that in this
Just
clip. The DA
making,
states it on the record in that clip,
Gestures behind my head and I seen them through the TV screen and made me feel uncomfortable.
and that is clipped in Law and Crime. Yeah, this is all delay.
Jury's coming in.
This
Please
is
rise for the
delay,
jury.
and this is a power
That's
struggle.
not gonna be addressed.
Mr.
okay?
Brooks,
It's a-
I'm muting you.
Power struggle between him and the court
Oh, okay.
at this point. It's a full power struggle. So the DA put on the record that the conviction with regard to the witness Erica, his ex, and the mother of one of his kids, is the source of that registration status. So the DA put that up.
Should just keep them.
But again,
They're nearby.
juries don't know everything about
Thank
every
you,
witness.
everyone.
It's not
Please be
relevant.
seated.
And it's not relevant to this case. That status doesn't make him guilty of this crime, and it doesn't make him more likely to commit this crime. But if he's going to question the integrity of the witness,
For the
Erica,
record, Mr. Brooks
then
is appearing from another
context.
courtroom. That should not affect your deliberation or verdicts in any way. At this time, does the state have any questions?
we'll get to
for
questions
this
when we've got a
witness?
break.
All right, thank you, ma'am. You may step down. Thank you for being here.
They can cut his questioning short, but they can't just end the proceedings and convict him. This has to go to the jury. The judge has given him too much
All right. the
Space.
Defense may call its next witness,
too much talk room. So they ended this witness. They said no further questions, or at least I think they said no further questions. So, we will try to get all the way back to the start of the day if we have time.
Go ahead, sir. You can call your next witness.
I have not had a chance to read what's going on in the chess world, but I will.
You're not muted.
I fell down a TikTok rabbit hole yesterday after we streamed.
So
And
how long am I supposed to stay in here now?
that's not the question. Call your
I'm gonna
witness.
Excuse the jury. We'll hopefully have you back shortly.
Call the witness. Call your witness.
All rise for the jury, please.
Call your witness. This is not good like classroom management. We had a ton of teachers in here yesterday saying this is not good classroom management. She is giving him too many answers. Yes, this defendant is representing himself. He's an example of why you should never. But she's giving him too many answers instead of saying, this is my ruling. That is my ruling. This is my ruling. He's like, you're treating me unfair. She's like, no, I'm not. Stop. Let the record speak for itself. Stop arguing back with him.
The jury is no longer in
It gives him fuel.
courtroom.
So now they've excused the jury again. The jury came in, they excused the witness, the jury went back
Brookside
out.
Had the jury leave the courtroom.
Again.
Because it appeared to me you wanted to perhaps
This-
either ask to come back into the courtroom or make another record of
This
something.
jury's getting their steps in.
Do you want to
I'm
come back into this courtroom as you call your next
stop
witness?
asking him what he wants to do. Make him do it from there for one witness.
You're not muted. You're unmuted.
He needs a timeout to calm down.
So what's going on now? Why am I being held in contempt yet again?
You're not being held in
Record will
contempt.
reflect that pursuant to Illinois versus Allen, Mr. Brooks was not held in contempt, although that
The
is
jury
one
has
of
gotta
the
be so done.
possible ways for a trial judge to handle a
The jury's just like hot seating in their chairs.
defendant who is stubbornly defiant, disruptive, and contemptuous. That is
Normally
not
their
the
lawyer
only
just keeps
way
going.
In which a judge can address
I don't know why she's
a
giving him so much
defendant
leeway.
that
She's giving him too much
is
ground.
being discourteous, disrespectful, and disruptive.
That's why this is taking so
So
long.
pursuant to the authority in Illinois versus Allen, I found that you forfeited your right to be present
This is live,
based
yes.
upon your conduct. I'd also direct the parties to some persuasive authority from other jurisdictions that are more recent, including People versus Cone from the state of Colorado, 160 P. 3rd 366. It's a Colorado Court of Appeals from 2007. And then from the state of Washington, from their Supreme Court, State versus Davis, 461 P. 3rd 1204. That's from 2020.
We'll
And
talk
I
about
remind
contempt
the
in a minute.
parties of the district court decision that was later affirmed from Pennsylvania, U.S. versus Jennings, 855 F. Sup. 1427 from 1994.
That's exactly what this
The finding was, sir,
is.
that you forfeited your right to be present based upon your conduct.
Okay, and all those.
So she's making a full
case
record.
laws you just cited are pursuant to that.
Sir, I will
He's
ask you, would you
exhausting.
like to come back into this courtroom as you continue with the calling of witnesses and your next witness?
No, this room's quiet.
I thought you was using Illinois versus Allen.
You are welcome to come back into this courtroom, sir.
So why was I removed in the first place then?
Because you were being
I've made my
disruptive.
findings, the record will stand. I will ask you one last time. Would you like to come back into this courtroom as you call your next witness?
You're not finna hold me in contempt no more.
You're not in
I can do
contempt.
Mr. Brooks is not answering my question directly, so based upon that, I'll advise him that if
Don't
you
advise him
ask
of shit.
one more time and he fails to answer it with a yes or no,
What is she gonna
I
do?
will take that as a no that he wants to
Mr.
stay in that
Brooks?
courtroom.
I'm
You can't-
counting
you
to
can't
3.
answer- You can't answer.
Mr.
One.
You can't do that. You can't do that.
Mr.
2,
Brooks, I'm advising you that I will.
3. You're staying
He's
there.
interrupting me.
Call your
once
next
again
witness.
from
Okay,
the
you
other
talking.
courtroom.
You the one talking right now, so don't do that.
I'm going to.
Don't tell the judge not to do that. What are you doing?
He's just spouting off. So.
Mute
he did not
him.
answer my question
He's muted.
directly. He has not reclaimed his right to come back into the courtroom because number one, he has not requested it. Number two, he hasn't
She
answered
should.
my question about
She should
whether he
remind
wants
him.
to come back in. And number three, he hasn't stated or demonstrated a willingness to conduct himself consistently with the decorum and respect inherent in the concepts of courts and judicial
She's just reading
proceedings.
straight from the case law.
I will give him one more opportunity. So that it's abundantly clear on this
No.
record that I am honoring his right to be present.
No
and I
more
will unmute him.
opportunities.
Sir, would you like to come back into this courtroom as you call your
No.
next witness?
Don't try to seem like you're trying to honor my rights now because you haven't been
Okay,
doing it
he
before.
is, again, not
That's a
answering
no.
the question
Don't try to
directly.
put on no, don't,
I'm going to mute him again. As I've noted before, this is a clear method now that Mr. Brooks is employing, that when I
For
have
delay.
done something that he disagrees with, that he just continues to argue with me and does
We're just
not
now
answer
realizing this?
questions directly. So based upon his continued disruptive behavior, the fact that he will not answer my questions directly,
Call your
I'll
next
find that
witness.
he's continuing to forfeit his right to be present in this courtroom. Clearly, the audio and visual technology are working. He's been responding, although not appropriately. He is in that other courtroom. We can see him. He does have the headphones on, and I've confirmed that he can see and hear as well based upon the court personnel that are in the other courtroom. So I'll make another finding that his appearance from the other courtroom is the functional equivalent of him being present in this courtroom.
She's making a record now
Mr.
of all
Brooks,
of this.
Before I unmute you, I am going to advise you, I will ask you,
She needs to stop saying advise
call
and start
your
saying
next
tell. I'm
witness.
going to tell you. You need
and
to
if I
call your
don't
next
get a
witness.
direct response out of you, I
And if
may
you
ask
don't,
it again.
I'm going to
And if
deem you
fail to give me a
rested
direct response, then you will forfeit your right
to call any more
other
witnesses.
witnesses.
Yep. And she can
I'm going
deem
to
him
unmute you.
rested.
Actually, I need to bring the jury back out. But before I do
Who's
that,
your
I will
witness?
unmute you first and
No,
ask you which
she should
witness
ask who the yes.
you intend to call, so we can
Ask who the
at
witness
least have
is,
that person ready
get
to
the
go
witness on the
and
stand,
outside
and
the
then
courtroom.
call the jury back in.
Who will be your next witness?
I'm not calling no witness if I gotta be in this other courtroom.
Okay,
Would
then
you
you're
like
done.
to come back into this courtroom, sir?
Why was I ever removed? You never answered.
I've
I
made
gotta
a
answer
record of that,
everything.
sir.
I have to answer everything though. Everything you ask me, you expect me to answer, but then when I ask you questions, you never have to answer anything.
She's the
I
judge.
just put on the record.
She
that
doesn't answer
two of
you.
your bailiffs just made gestures. When I'm looking at them off the reflection of the screen, they're making gestures behind my head that make me feel uncomfortable. I just brought that up on the record. You didn't even address that.
Are they doing the Macarena? What are the
Mr.
bailiffs
Brooks,
doing?
I didn't
They're
address it
communicating
because
with each
frankly, you
other.
keep interrupting me, and then I have to deal with the interruptions and make a record regarding that. So I just saw the captain walk over. I will let security personnel, Captain Dussault,
Maybe
look
they're on the
into
same
that, and if
TikTok shit I'm
appropriate,
on.
He can bring that conduct to
They're down the
my
rabbit hole.
attention. I'd also remind the defendant that at any time, you can also ask to be brought over through the bailiffs.
Stop
who are
reminding
in
him.
That
Stop giving him an
courtroom.
opportunity. Stop.
So to be
Stop.
abundantly fair to you, I will ask one more time.
Stop.
Would you like to come back over to this courtroom?
She's supposed to
I've
treat
never
him.
been removed.
That's not answering my
She's
question,
supposed to treat
sir.
him like an attorney.
You haven't answered my question.
This is
The
not
court's
how you
not
treat an
going to
attorney.
answer questions directed at the court by
No.
the defendant because they're not relevant
The
or
court needs to stop.
probative at
The
this
judge needs to
time,
just put her
and
foot
they're
down.
a delay and disruptive tactic.
Put your foot
Mr.
down.
Brooks,
Delay and disruptive tactic. Is that a judicial decision determination?
Lay
Judicial
it out,
determination
Your
that you're
Honor.
making
I'm going to
as a pub-
mute you because we're going off on the judicial determinations. Every
Lay it
decision
out.
I make, sir, is by definition a judicial determination.
Because I'm the motherfucking
is
judge.
on
That's
the
why.
record. If there is a conviction, you
Never
can
gonna
raise
happen.
whatever issues you want on appeal if you are convicted. But we don't
She
need
is
to
patient,
have this
but
back
she
and
is-
forth every time.
You
to
are
further make
instigating the back and
record
forth,
when the
though.
record speaks for it.
She's part of the problem with the back and
You were
forth.
given plenty of opportunities throughout this trial to make offers of proof, to state your legal reasoning for either an objection
She's
or for a question that's being
feeding
asked,
the delay.
or for a whole host of other things. But right now, you're not doing anything legally relevant. You're being disruptive.
I don't think she's a bad judge. I think she's trying to be too careful.
I would like you to be present.
I think she's trying to be too
That is
careful.
always what I
Really.
want during this case. It certainly, I think, is important.
I think she's
But
being
you can
overly
forfeit
careful
your
because this
right
is going to,
be
he's going to be
present by your
convicted. It's
conduct,
going to
which
go
you
up on
have done
appeal.
repeatedly throughout this case.
So I think
I will
she's,
advise you that if you are in that courtroom,
this is now, Tina.
because I have put you there and you have not
She's trying too
reclaimed,
hard.
the right to be present.
The
by, number one,
prosecution's not going to
asking
interrupt
and
the
then,
judge.
Expressing a willingness to conduct yourself consistently with the decorum and respect inherent in the concepts of courts and judicial proceedings.
Yes,
you
she
will
can.
remain over there.
She can say, this is my ruling and move on. She can absolutely say that. She can put her foot down.
And it looks like he took his headphones off. So
Great,
I
so he
will-
can't hear her anymore. She's going to deem him rested and he might not testify. I'm hoping he'll
Mr.
testify.
Brooks, I'm advising you that if you fail to call a witness,
yell at
you
me.
will forfeit your right to present any additional witnesses.
I don't think she's worried about a mistrial. I
I'm
think she's
doing
being
this outside the presence of the jury right now for a reason. I need to know from you right now. You
overly
are
cautious
unmuted.
for appeal.
Who is your next witness?
I think she's being overly cautious for appeal. He can appeal on grounds not representation.
That was very disrespectful, sir.
Shit, what did he
You
say?
chose to take off your headphones.
Yeah,
You choose
because
to
I'm
read.
muted. I'm muted. So why am I gonna have my headphones on and I'm muted?
You need to hear the judge.
Well, I would think your headphones help you hear. The
They
muting
do.
is so that I don't have to hear the disruptions.
Okay, well then why should I need to hear what
So
you
let
saying?
me be clear, sir. And you
don't
are
gotta
not.
be clear or nothing. I don't gotta listen to you.
I don't got to listen to you.
I will ask you one last time, sir. Who is your next witness?
Just deem him rested.
First of all, is she talking to me again?
Did he say, is she talking to me again or is she fucking with me again?
Doing this little childish stuff, dude.
You're acting like a child.
I gotta sit up here and I'm supposed to abide by every single rule, but don't nobody else gotta do that.
Welcome to being a lawyer, bro. You get treated like a kid all the time by the court.
That Mr. Brooks is spouting off, making
I think
unsubstantiated
the record can hear me.
allegations
Your Honor.
against this court.
Your Honor, stop.
That's on
Directly
you.
attacking the
Stop fighting with
integrity
him.
of this court and these proceedings, while yet
This court ain't got no
refusing
integrity.
to answer
This court don't have
simple
no
questions. Mr. Brooks, you
That's
are,
not my name. I told you I don't consent to being called that name.
sir,
I
you
need
are
a fan.
hereby advised this is the last time I will ask this question,
Don't talk
or
to me
you
like
will
that.
forfeit your right to present
Can't do that.
any
Show me
additional
show me
witnesses,
where that's law.
because
Show
you
me
are
where
not
that's law.
cooperating with this process.
Anyone who's ever
Show me
fought
that
with
it's
their
law. That's all
teen,
I'm asking. Show me that it's
it's
law.
never been this bad
Mr.
at my
Brooks.
house.
How can I
It's been
force
frustrating.
it
We've had
not
days.
being able to have a defense? Are you kidding me?
That's what happens when you don't call
All
your
I'm
witness.
asking is that you conduct yourself with dignity, with decorum, and with respect. I will
Okay.
gladly bring you back into this courtroom so you can present
problem.
your additional witnesses.
No, I need a fan. I need like
But you
a,
need to ask me to come back into this courtroom.
With all due respect,
we'll talk about contempt at the break. We'll talk about contempt at the break.
I'm tired of having this back and forth with you every day.
Huh.
It's not my intention.
There's
to come
feedback
down
in the
here
court.
and have
That's not
this-
me.
And have these interactions with you every day. It's not.
That's the court.
Regardless to what you may think.
Sorry, y'all,
regardless
that's
to
the
how you
court.
may feel, that is not my intention. Okay?
Mm,
I simply do what I do because I do not have the understanding.
that is the court feed.
So if I don't understand something, I'm going to ask a question. If it makes you feel that I'm intentionally trying to delay the proceedings.
That's what you're doing.
Intentionally trying to be disruptive.
I don't know why she's letting him speak.
And I feel very, 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 very disrespected every time the record is made, making it seem
I don't think he's
like
trying. I think that's
what
just
I am
how he is.
attempting to do. So of course it's gonna frustrate. Of course it's gonna make me a little bit upset.
Your feelings are irrelevant. You're the lawyer.
And I just want you to understand that. It seems to me the way I'm interpreting what you're doing.
This feedback
which
is
it is your
killing me.
courtroom. That's not it. It's not a dispute. It's not up for debate.
You keep debating it.
You control what's going on in there. That's not a dispute.
All right, I'm gonna make sure I
But
don't
the
have
way
another
I'm
tab somewhere.
interpreting What you're doing is that I'm being held in contempt. That's how I'm interpreting.
No, you're being put in
Because one
timeout.
of the three things that's cited in the Illinois versus Allen, one of them is.
No, this
one
is
of
from the
them is
court.
being
I'm sorry,
gagged.
y'all.
I haven't been gagged. One of them is held in contempt. If
What's
I'm-
the
if
third,
I'm not
Mr.
under-
Brooks? What's
Yeah,
the
what's the third?
The third is removed from the courtroom while the trial continues, right?
And that's
the third,
what
right?
that's
And
what's
is-
happening.
That's what's been done.
Okay, so now, where does it say after that?
This feedback is going to make me
that-
insane.
Having me on a headset or being able to see and hear and all this and this, how is that not prejudicing
Oh,
my defense?
Sir, you
Nope.
can
I
raise
can't
that
even-
issue on
I can't-
appeal. You
This
can
is
raise
why I
that
say that.
issue on appeal if you are
This is why I say
convicted.
that. This is why I say that though, because I can't even see. The only thing I can see right now when I'm looking at the TV.
I don't know what happened to my feed that you guys are seeing. Hold on. We're going to go back live and see if we can kill that. If we can kill that feedback. He's just still arguing with the judge. Sorry, y'all. Let's make sure we're not getting too... Nope, that's coming from the court.
Concepts of courts and judicial proceedings, the answer then is yes. So, I'm not going to have a debate with you about the law. I will ask you again, would you like to come back into this courtroom?
Are you going to kick me out? Are you going to kick me out?
Sir,
If you act up.
I'm asking the questions right now. Would you like to come back?
I'm
into
in
this
charge now,
courtroom?
Phasma.
Yes or no?
Are you going to kick me out?
Sir,
Depends on
it's
your
a
behavior.
yes or no question.
Yeah,
Would
she
you
needs
like to
control.
come back into this?
My answer was based on the reason why I'm answering like that is because the moment I say something,
Yeah, it's the court feed.
it's
Thanks,
gonna
all.
get me put out. I don't want to keep hauling this stuff back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back.
Stop
and
acting,
forth.
stop being disruptive. You're in control of that. You were fine answering questions yesterday. You're capable.
I'm well aware of that, sir, that it delays the proceedings.
But then it's laid at my feet as if that's my attempt. You think I want to be over here?
Sir, I don't know what you want or don't want at this time.
You wanna
I know
delay
that
shit.
We need to complete this trial, and that you have frustrated today more than ever before.
Yes.
The ability of this court to do that.
Today's been insane. Just deem him rested.
Feeling that way, but I'm frustrated too. And nobody seems to take that into account. I'm just as frustrated as everybody.
Nobody cares about the lawyer's
Probably
feelings.
more.
Then I suggest that you conform your conduct to the requirements of courtesy and decorum.
The
so that
DAs are
you
probably
don't
looking
run
for
the
their
risk of
Advil.
forfeiting your right to be present. But that falls on you and you alone, sir.
They've wasted so much court
There is
time.
no conduct that's, I don't understand what you mean by that. I really
The
don't.
Mr.
gaslighting.
Brooks, you may not understand it.
The
I
gaslighting.
don't think that's accurate. I think you know exactly what you're doing.
If that's what you think, that's
But,
fine.
Your
I can't
Honor-
argue with
You
you
have
about your
demonstrated throughout this case that you
Your
pay
Honor,
attention to witnesses' testimony.
Stop.
That you make cogent and coherent objections.
Stop.
At times
Feeding
that you have
the
even
fight.
had evidence
And then let us know what
suppressed in this
lipstick that is,
case
'cause I
or
like
stricken.
that
That's
shade.
the word I used during this case. You made an opening statement. You communicate with witnesses. So you clearly read, write, and understand English. That's not an issue here, sir.
It's not fair
Are
to
you
say-
self-represented? Absolutely. Does that present difficulties and disadvantages? Absolutely.
Did I give you a whole
But
day to
takes
tell
me
you about
back to
that?
when
Yes.
You waived your right to counsel, and you did so knowingly, freely, voluntarily, and with a full understanding of the disadvantages and advantages of doing so.
Deem him
The
rested.
advantages of having an attorney, the
Do it.
disadvantages of doing it on
Right, the
your own,
lipstick's
and you made a
good.
deliberate decision
She's feeding it at this
to
point.
represent yourself, and that comes at a risk to you of, yes, at times, not fully understanding the law, the rules of evidence, the rules of procedure, but you do so at your peril.
This judge needs Meredith Marks to teach her how to disengage.
So I'm gonna
Disengage.
do the following, since I'm not really getting anywhere, I'm gonna mute you for the moment. I'm not getting anywhere with him.
No shit.
I would like him to be brought over,
No.
and he has a choice to make. He can come back over, or he doesn't. Either way, he's going to be asked to call a witness in front of the jury.
Now. No.
I will ask him
Get
three
the wit-
times if
no.
he fails to give me a direct answer, and after the third time, I will make the appropriate finding.
Get the witness
but I will
on
do
the
that outside
stand.
the presence of the
No.
jury.
Get the
We
witness on
are
the stand
going
before you bring the jury in.
continue. So we'll go off
No.
the record, and he will come back over.
No.
Thank
No.
you. We are
No.
in recess until
No.
that happens.
No. 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 Damn it.
Just to say something and then get kicked out.
He's still talking.
I don't know what to tell her then.
Oh, that's him in the bailiff talking.
No. y'all get tired of hauling all this stuff over here, over there, over here, over there, over there? And I know, as soon as I say something,
I want to hear
you're
what
gonna
Brooke says.
take them out. We're gonna stop everything. Take them out. And it's just like, well, damn, I could have stayed over there. Like, what the? Yeah, at this point, it's like, what the hell? I'm gonna go over there and get sent right back over here. And then when I get over here, it's gonna be the same thing. Oh well, if you tell them you can come back over here, then I go back over there, then I get kicked out again. Then it's the same thing again. Oh well, if you want to tell, it's just like, dude, pick, man. Like obviously, I don't have no say. That's clear. Because when I'm getting kicked out, the first thing I say is what? So why are you holding me in contempt? So that's obviously saying, why am I being kicked out? So if I'm saying, why am I being kicked out, then obviously I don't want to be kicked out. But then I'm kicked out anyway, and then I get over here, and it's just like, okay, I don't want to be over here, but why did I go back over there?
Now the mic's cut. We had a hot mic for a long moment. He is saying the exact same thing to the bailiff that's in the court that's helping him move between courtrooms. He knows, I believe, my opinion, he knows exactly what he's doing, and he's delaying, and he wants to fight with the judge, and he's going to be heard, and he's going to be extemporaneous, and he's just... Yesterday, a lot of you asked, do you think the gender of the judge matters? And I'm beginning to wonder if this was a male judge, if he would fight as much, just given how much he was fighting with the female witness versus fighting with the male witness. But I don't know. But I think I think the judge is feeding in way too much to him. The judge is biting back. No, this courtroom has been fair. Well, now he's going to have a retort instead of just standing her ground. I made my ruling. The judge has said like 17 times that she is going to deem him rested. Stop it, stop it, stop it. Do it or don't. Just at this point, judge up. Put on your black dress and judge up. And by the way, I call it a black dress for all judges, regardless of gender. But put on your robe and ride, Your Honor. It is time. It is time to just take control of this courtroom, take control of this defendant, give him one, possibly two explanations, ask him the question, do not respond to whatever comes after the question that is not yes or no, and said, you're answering my question now, sir. We need you to Camille Vasquez woman up here and say, that wasn't my question, this or this. That wasn't my question, this or this. That wasn't my question, this or this. Okay, sir, I'm deeming you rested with this witness. Call your next witness. And when he talks, that wasn't my question. Call your next witness. That wasn't my question. Call your next witness. She can make a record for appeal without arguing back with him. She absolutely can. She is given too much room for him to argue back. She doesn't have to answer everything he says. That wasn't my question. I've made my record. Who's your next witness? That's all she needs to say. She can absolutely shut it down more than this. She's given too much. And I think it's because she's worried. Can you email the judge and say this? No, I'm not involved. This is a conversation for this judge and her colleagues to have. But it's very hard to kind of unwind the dynamic she's already set up. And the dynamic she's set up with him is if he just keeps talking, she'll keep responding. And he just wants to keep talking. And she is supposed to treat him like any other attorney. But in reality, she's not going to hold him in contempt. He doesn't give a shit about a bar license. He's not a bar licensed attorney. He doesn't give a shit about being held in custody because he's already held in custody. He doesn't care. There's no benefit other than saying, fine, you can't call your next witness. But that she has to be very careful with because he has the right to present a defense. And so there's nothing she can do to punish bad behavior. With attorneys, you can fine them. You can report them to the state bar. There are punishments for attorneys. I mean, unless you're Tom Girardi, apparently, but there's punishment for attorneys. There's nothing you can do to this dude. He knows at this point that he's going to prison for the rest of his life. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? There's nothing else to do to make him behave. How do you, how you can lead a horse to water, right? And this again is like fighting with a willful teen who's like, what are you going to do to me? What are you going to do? And it's a fact. There's only so much you can do. I wanted to go back to earlier today with the DA. I'm shocked. This jury has to be livid. This DA has, or this jury has been in and out and in and out and in and out and in and out. And she's really trying to make sure that the jury doesn't see all of this behavior because she doesn't want this to prejudice the jury. However, they're going to see enough of it. And it's delay. It's just delay. All right, let's go to the disfavored channel. You know, we have drama. We have drama with this channel. I have drama with no one except this channel. This is the only YouTuber that I have drama with, and I have a lot of drama with them. So we're going to just pull this up real quick because the DA was just making their record, and we will do that while we're waiting for Mr. Brooks to come back in the courtroom again before he's inevitably yeeted again. So here we go. Here's the drama. Oh, by the way, don't forget to do the YouTube things. Like and subscribe. The channel name is where I am all over the internet. If you're new here, go ahead and put a 1 in the chat so all of the law nerds can say hello. All right, let's go back to let's go back to
Down that road, we would be forced to counter
disfavored. All right, we're going to back up a little bit. They are arguing over whether these photos that he says were sent by this witness are going to come in. That witness is no longer on the stand. This happened earlier this morning, and then we'll go back to live coverage when he comes back into the courtroom.
is trying to do. And if we're going to go down that road, then we would be forced to counter that claim. First of all, it doesn't make her an incredible witness, if it's even
By incredible, he does not mean amazing and outstanding. He means not credible.
true. And second of all, if we go down that road, we would be forced to counter that claim by pointing out that not only does the defendant not live with the child in question, he doesn't live with any of the other children that he has.
The DA thinks that the defendant was trying to impugn the character of his ex, who is the mother of his child. They think he's trying to impugn that character. So they're trying to say, if he's going to try to impugn her character to say the jury shouldn't believe her, then this is what we're going to do next. And so the DA just goes, these are the bombs we will drop.
He impregnated Erica Patterson when she was a minor in Nevada. And for doing so, he was convicted of statutory sexual seduction, pled guilty in March of 2007 to that felony offense, and is a sex offender on the registry as a result. So if there's any causation that would lead to Erica Patterson being a bad mom, Mr. Brooks has a direct role in that causation.
And that's
Furthermore,
I object to that.
I'm not
because
done.
that's a lie.
I'm not done. Look at him. I'm not done.
We're gonna open the door on that. No, since he want to make a record and not be accurate, so let's be accurate all on the record. Since you think you know so much,
Once
so
again,
we can
Mr.
open the
Brooks
door
is
on.
being
We can
loud,
open the door on how old she told me she was when we met.
interrupting.
We can ask that question
He is
too. Then
over the
Did you
top
ask that?
animated
Did you
right
know
now.
that?
Mr. Brooks, I'm ordering you to sit down and to let the state
no,
finish.
no, I'm not going to sit here and let somebody be inaccurate on the record and lie on the record.
Right. Under Illinois versus Allen, I've warned him repeatedly. He's being removed from the courtroom.
This is what led up to him being removed before lunch.
And you know what? Let me dial that back. We're just going to take an early lunch, 1 hour. We'll be back. And unless he brings that letter and he can show it is inadmissible, she will not be questioned. And under 90611,
But the DA never got to finish.
You don't know where,
Closed.
you don't know where, what
Thank
happened
you,
at
we're in
time.
recess.
The DA's not even done making
Get
it.
your facts straight. So let's open the door on all of it then, so we can get all of it on the record. Since you think you know so much.
The DA wasn't even done making their record. The DA never got to finish making their record. That's how he got kicked out this morning. Because the DA was trying to say he has legally opened the door. Legally opening the door for this to happen is what we're going to bring in then. That's what's behind door number 3. If you want to go down this road of questioning, this is what's next. And the DA never finished making the record. The court took an early break from lunch. And then Brooks, after lunch, started freaking out. We still haven't moved on. This was hours ago. This vignette happened before the lunch break. They broke early for lunch before noon Central Time. We still haven't gotten another witness on the stand. It is 1:40 p.m. Central Time. So then they come back from lunch. Let's see if we can, I don't want to backtrack this live stream. Let me grab another live stream and see if we can roll back a live stream to see what happened right as we came back from lunch. Let's do that real quick. So let me take this off the screen. Nope, that's the wrong way. We're going to backtrack a little bit again on disfavored channel. They do copy strike people. We are using it for commentary. I'm going to try to get back to before lunch real quick. So if we get back to before lunch and see what happened right before we got there, but nothing is moving forward. And late in the day yesterday, the court was saying we're already beyond what we told the jury we would be. And he's like, the prosecution said their case would take 5 days. That's on them. The reason the prosecution has not been able to get through their case quickly or could not get through their case quickly is because this happens every single fucking time. All of this. All right, let's pull up this feed because again, I want to wait and hear this feed when it comes back from break. I can't believe how long it's taking. And this should get us to write what happened after lunch. Lisa Marie, welcome. This is exhausting trial. I tend to cover pop culture, but cover the lower third logo. I can't, but it's all right. We'll just
to ask you if you are
it's
ready
fair use
to answer my questions.
Hopefully they'll calm
previously,
down.
And also to let me know
So this is right as we get back from lunch, leading up to what we saw when I started streaming.
whether you
She's picking her
are
words
asking to
carefully.
stay in that courtroom. I've been advised he can hear and see.
So even without the headphones, he can hear,
Mr. Brooks, we are on the record.
just not answering the court.
I'll go through the topics one by one. You are in the other courtroom. You are invited back here. Would you like to come back here? Yes or no?
And that's the argument that went on
The record
for
reflects that
over
Mr. Brooks is
an
present
hour.
in the courtroom in person and in custody wearing a suit.
Answer the judge.
The audio is on. Off. Would you like to come back to
wearing
this
a mask?
courtroom, sir?
Oh, we're back.
The jury will be brought out and you'll be asked to call your next witness.
You ain't called that name.
So noted.
We're back to I don't consent to that
Still
name.
need to address subject matter jurisdiction
No,
before the jury's brought out.
I
no,
will not be doing that.
Will it be proven for the record?
we're not
Record
addressing that.
stands.
Good. Don't engage. You've got this, Your Honor. Call a
Is
witness.
that a tacit agreement that you don't have to answer that question, Your Honor?
Call a witness. Don't engage.
Make
Don't
no such
engage.
agreements with you, sir.
Don't engage. Call a witness.
So that means you can answer a question then. Will we be addressing subject matter jurisdiction?
Don't engage. You
on the
already
record?
answered it. Don't
Will it be
engage.
Verified and proven.
Nope. Call your next witness. Say it. Call your next witness. You've got this, Your Honor.
Non-responsive answer is a tacit agreement, Your Honor.
Jury's coming out.
Good. She didn't engage at all. She should have made him name his witness, though. Emily, have you ever seen anything like this? Not quite like this. I've done a pro per trial as a prosecutor when I was a district attorney. It was not like this, but it was a very different judge. She is trying. She is trying. We're just going to give the judge vibes from here.
Thank you, everyone. Please be seated.
This poor fucking jury. I hope they brought a book. The look she gave him and the look he's been giving her. He was saying, I think he's trying to
The
say
defense may call its
tacit
next witness.
agreement.
Who's here?
You should have asked that earlier, bruh.
Beretchem, Hayes, Aldrich, and Lezcano are present and
The
ready,
fact
Your Honor.
Thank
that
you.
the DAs have to get their witnesses for the defense is wild.
What was the last two?
Aldrich and Lezcano.
I believe Lezcano's a cop. I don't know about Aldrich. These folders that he has were put together by the public defenders before he yeeted them and decided to represent himself. That's how I liked to prepare trials too. Each witness had their own folder with all their reports, all my notes, everything. I loved that way of organizing trials. That's how I organized larger trials that had a lot of witnesses. He should have decided this earlier. He's just playing up at this point.
Deanna Aldrich.
He questioned his ex this
Deanna
morning
Aldrich?
some, and then it
Alright,
got
very well.
deemed finished because he had nothing new to ask. He had nothing new to ask her. And so he didn't get a lot of questioning. This entire day, his ex is the only witness that he's called. Oh, Camilla, that's so kind. They've been a little too patient. I potentially have jury duty for the next 2 weeks. Any book suggestions? Well, I'm stuck there. I take a lot of my book suggestions from TikTok, and they're probably not the books you'd want to pull into court. I don't know. I would find something fun you hadn't read yet. I like the I've been doing the MIT Free Press or the MIT Essential Press series. They have all kinds of great, fairly short little books that are kind of academic, but they're great. Post-truth, I just got one on AI ethics that I'm really interested in. The post-truth one is really interesting. Like, does the truth even matter, or does just what people say matter? I've got one on critical thinking that I love. So I find that whole book series really fun, but I would just find something fun and light. He should have kept his public defender. Yes. All right. Actually, this is how all of us are feeling, especially looking at the judge. I'm looking at the judge going, girl, stop. Are witnesses aware of pretrial motions prohibiting certain testimony? Yes, they are generally advised before they come in. And you've seen a number of the witnesses in this case stop talking and kind of look at the judge. And that's because the answer's calling for something. The DAs have also kind of gone above and beyond in letting people know what the pretrial rulings are. This DA here didn't get to finish making their record and looked really annoyed that they didn't get to finish making their record. So, watch this morning. So glad you're coming on today. You're welcome. I try to help, but I realized also that the community helps. Would all this be him trying to set up a mistrial? It could be, but it's not going to work. And an appeal's not going to work on these grounds. You cannot appeal when you represent yourself on ineffective assistance of counsel. You can't appeal that your attorney messed up. You can appeal that the court messed up, that the DA messed up.
I think she was in the other building, so.
That's all right, thank you.
Because you were given no heads up about who was coming next. Look at his face. He's just like, uh-huh. So, anyway, that's how I organize my files for civil. That's how they teach us in my paralegal program. Yeah, I love it. Question, when he appeals, can he choose to have a lawyer again? They will probably attempt to appoint him appellate counsel. So yes. How long is this trial supposed to be? It was supposed to be done by now. Emily, I love you. You have me laughing for the first time with this trial. I mean, the ridiculousness of it. So the devil on the judge's shoulder, I should have been like, so. But we called 2 other witnesses this morning. That's on me. I only saw her. So there were 3 witnesses today. There were supposed to be, I think, 7 today based on yesterday. It was wild. He is not great with his ex. So I think you guys are giving book suggestions, which is great. Let's see. Question, why would holding him in contempt cause a mistrial? I do not practice in Minnesota. I would think that they could reserve the issue for after the trial. There's literally no point in holding him in contempt. They're not going to fine him. It's not going to affect his bar license, and they're not going to put him in custody for it. He's already in custody. So there really is no point. But I think the judge could reserve contempt, but if he's serving a custody sentence for contempt, he can't be his own lawyer. So it would delay, but I don't think it would cause a mistrial. I just think that that's why the judge isn't. There's no punishment.
Good afternoon, Miss Aldrich. If you would please make
I
your
feel
way
for
to
this
the witness
judge.
stand.
I do too.
It is up by me.
So,
It's up by riser.
and she is just,
When you get all the way to the witness stand,
they are
please
pushing
remain
back and back and
standing.
back.
Raise your right hand.
Oh, I
And
like
my
the
son,
Aragon
Teresa,
books a
who's on my
lot.
left and will be across from you. We'll swear you in.
Emily is on Smut Book Talk. You bet your ass I am. I love it.
So help you God? Yes. Thank you.
More than we need to talk about here. Oh, he had the cop on the stand first.
What I will ask you to do is to state your first and
I
last
missed
name
some of the
for
morning because I
record
was
and then
at a
spell.
speaking event.
Deanna Aldrich, Deanna. Last name
He
is
does.
Aldrich.
Thank you. Go ahead, sir, your witness.
Good afternoon, Miss Aldrich.
When he stands up, he's hard to hear.
Direct your attention. Well, first of all, let me back up a little bit. What do you currently do for a living?
I'm retired.
Just answer the question
That's
asked.
already
Good.
pretty good.
What was your former job is the next question.
Direct your attention to the evening of November 21 of 2021. Do you recall that evening pretty good?
Yes.
Where were you staying at the time?
I live on Maple Avenue.
Oh, she's hard to hear too.
And during that evening, did you hear anything unusual?
I did.
And do you recall what that was?
I heard a large thumping noise in my neighbor's yard, and when I came out to my porch, I saw a red SUV.
Back up a little bit to the thumping noise. Can you describe that thumping noise? Would it just be
Nope, stop. Can you describe that thumping noise?
thumping? Did
Stop.
it sound like a crash or anything of that nature?
I believe it was like the engine dropping kind of noise.
Okay.
We don't know
And
yet. We're gonna find
stated
out.
You looked out your patio and saw a red SUV.
I did.
Do you recall how that SUV looked at that time?
It was smashed to smithereens.
Viking Bear, you're making me laugh.
Do you recall if the red SUV was still running at the time that you observed it?
Yes.
And at some point, did it cut off?
Yes.
And what did you see from that point?
Before I seen it shut off, I seen it go forward in the driveway and then back up like 3 feet.
See?
And then someone got out of the car.
And now he's just
and
asking
ran
questions.
Around the bushes to the front of
All the
my
bullshit is
building.
stopped.
And who's the someone that you are referring to?
At that time, I didn't have my glasses on, so I could not see clearly.
Me.
What do
Always.
you recall?
As far as
Description
what?
wise, yeah.
Dark hair, possibly white or purple or whatever color shirt, and dark pants.
Do you recall a height?
I think he was probably anywhere between 5'6" and 6 foot. I really couldn't tell because of the angle.
They have seen the car. The jury went to see it in
So,
person and they've seen pictures.
I'm assuming then your patio is kind of on a upward base type of angle that you would have kind of been looking
I was
sort of
looking
down.
down, yes.
Okay. And the individual you
I did
stated
turn it
ran
down.
in
Hopefully
what
it's
direction
down,
at the
down.
time that you were observing?
My porch is here, and he ran from the driveway here around to the front of my building.
Did you see where the individual went from that point, or could you not see because of where you were positioned on the patio?
He stopped to, if you were looking at the building, he stopped to the right of the building front.
None of us know where he's
And,
going with this.
The building front, is that a street?
Yes. Not all the way to the street, though. He
Okay.
was in the
Wintery
front
Witch.
yard on the grass.
You make an excellent point. He's in control when he's standing up
Did you at
questioning.
any time observe this individual jump over the hood?
I was running
Leading.
out of my house, so I did not see, because I was trying to find my glasses as I was running in and out.
So is it fair to say you were trying to locate your glasses so you can get a better look at what you were observing?
Yes.
The prosecution could object, but it doesn't matter. And I appreciate that they're
recall
not
if
being
the,
petty. It just doesn't
SUV
matter.
Had any tinted windows?
I do not recall.
Shonda Rhimes wrote Year of Yes. It's amazing, Julia. It's so good. So the prosecution just wants to get through this. So she, yeah, it sounds like she lives near where the
Do you
car was
recall
dumped.
what time of the evening you heard the loud thumping and then observed the SUV?
I
Control.
do not recall.
I think he's representing himself for control.
And before that evening, had you ever noticed that SUV before that evening?
No.
I don't think he knows where he's going with these questions.
Did you speak with any of your neighbors to inquire who the SUV may have belonged to?
No, there was people coming outside from the building that the driveway was, and they were gonna walk up to the vehicle, but they did not, because I yelled to them and said, "Don't touch it."
I think he wants to try to
So
say
that kinda-
people
Would be fair to say that kind of startled them and stopped them in their tracks.
people
Yeah.
couldn't see him driving.
Do you recall how many people there were?
Maybe 10.
So I think that's why he keeps asking about the tinted windows. But the jury went and saw the vehicle. They went and saw the vehicle in person, so they're going to determine the windows and if
And
people
at some point,
could have
did
seen.
law enforcement come to your home and interview you about what you observed that evening?
Yes.
And
Amy, no, it's not.
do you know if they? Well, I'm assuming they took a report. Would that be fair to say?
Don't assume.
They came
Ask the
up to
question.
my apartment and asked me some questions.
Yeah, don't assume. She doesn't know if they took a report. She knows
Do
she
you
talked to
recall
them.
if they were writing it down or recording it?
Writing it down.
That's a fair question. And there are times he asked good follow-up questions. Of course she's nervous. Would you want to be questioned by this guy? I wouldn't want to be. And he was in such a good flow, I was going to eat another cracker because I'm hungry, and then he stopped. So now we're going to answer questions. He hasn't said I'm through with them or I'm done with this witness yet, but I'm waiting for
If
that to
you recall,
happen.
did you ever learn what the loud noises were that you heard before seeing the SUV?
No.
Do you know what the noises were that you couldn't see? Calls for speculation, but again, it doesn't matter. Just because you can object doesn't always mean you should. They just want to get through this witness. They just want to get to closing. They're not, the prosecution's doing a very good job of sitting on their hands.
You observed the individual running toward. Do you recall what street that would have been based on the direction?
Arlington Avenue would be right directly in front of that building.
Yeah, I think the DA is just
You didn't,
trying to let them get through.
See the individual run towards Maple Street?
He ran towards Maple Street and came around the bushes directly to the right of my patio, being up high.
I feel for the victims. I feel for the community. I feel for the court staff. I feel for this jury.
But that general direction would have been, what street did you say?
Arlington.
Arlington. I apologize.
Yeah, she looks so uncomfortable, but of course she is. Alina, thank you. I have not seen Legally Blonde the musical in person. I saw it ages ago when it aired on television. I would love to go see it in person, but I have not. For everybody asking, can I turn up the volume? No, this is the volume of the court feed, unfortunately.
Were you aware that there was a parade going on that evening?
Yes.
Did you attend?
No.
This poor thing. I feel so bad for her. The public defender was prepared for this trial before he decided to represent himself. So the public defender was ready to go to trial. They were doing their work. They were ready to do this case. And then he started representing himself kind of late in the game. So
After
he
you,
gets all their prep.
spoke with the law enforcement
Including
officers
questions.
that evening, did any more law enforcement officers come back and interview you at any time after that evening?
They did not interview me that evening. They came early the next day on the 22nd.
Oh, I'm sorry. After the 22nd, did any other law enforcement come back out to interview?
No.
Not that I've seen. There's no need to cross-examine any of these. So I also have tremendous respect for public defenders. A lot of the times their clients are not happy to have them. They call them awful names. They think they're all in cahoots with the DAs. They're not. Public defenders are great attorneys who also are trying to do a great public service. They don't generally get the respect that they deserve, and definitely not the respect from their clients that they deserve for the most part.
No.
Not always. James, that must have been very interesting. James said, having served on a jury where the defendant represented himself, it is 100% about control. My case, the gentleman had assistant counsel for law, but it hurt him seeing how he interacted with the victim. That is my case that I tried with a proper self-representing defendant. He did not have standby counsel, and the victim in that case was very much not playing games with the defendant. The defendant's like, you said the defendant did this. He's like, you. I said, you did this. How do you say the defendant, you keep saying you. He's like, because I saw you when you were stabbing me. He was not having any of the defendant's games.
No further questions at this time.
There was no purpose of this witness. Excuse this witness. Did you see his face? He's like, fuck no, stop it. We're not crossing anyone. Lots of DV cases represent themselves. They do. That's also about control. I know Rob from Law and Lumber is going to be talking about that a bit tonight from his experience in family law and about representing themselves. So he'll be doing that on his Friday night Frenzy stream tonight. I mean, I want to give her a blanket and a hug and like a hot toddy. And now we're going to have time before we get back for him. Now we get back to him trying to figure out. This seems cruel to the witness. I think it's cruel to everyone he cross-examines, except maybe the cops who are used to it, but it's hard for everyone. It's hard that he gets to cross-examine people who are victims. So.
The defense calls Christopher Beretchem.
All right, thank you.
I don't think he knows who that dude is. My friend's soon-to-be ex-husband is representing himself. It's a mess. It's especially messy when it goes through family law court. It can be so extemporaneous. Nellie said, love your videos. Can you please shout out my mom, Juanita? Juanita, hey, shout out. Hope your day's great. Nellie says hi.
State heard that and was assisting. Thank you.
Your Honor, my assistant.
I didn't want to assume. So thank you for
Yes.
verifying that.
It's not super common outside of like traffic court. Definitely not for a multiple homicide case. It's not common, but it does happen. It happens a lot in traffic court, and that's fine.
This one's a lot closer than before, so that's good. All right, good afternoon, Mr. Beretchem. If you would please make your way to the witness stand.
He's like, I don't know what I'm going to ask this dude, but we're just doing it. Mm-hmm.
Off to my right, it is up one riser. When
Do you notice the prosecutor with the stress ball when the witness walked in? I
Raise your
didn't.
right hand.
I should send the prosecutors little like stress
My left
gavels.
one across from you will swear you
I have
in.
little stress gavels.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
That's true.
Thank you.
They did cross one of the witnesses.
First thing I will ask
Oh my God, I
you
love
to
his
state
sweater.
Your first and last names for the record.
My first name is Christopher and my last name is Bertram.
Could you spell those, please?
CHRISTOPHER BERTRAM.
Can you lean in, please?
As long as you sit close to
Yeah.
that.
All of them want to lean away from the defendant. Like you see all of them wanting,
For your witness.
all of them want to hide away from that defendant.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
ahead.
this witness looks young. I'm curious as to who this witness is.
First of all, good afternoon. What do you currently do for a living?
I'm a student.
I do electrical work.
Ah, not a student. He's like, why am I
Direct your
here?
attention to the evening of November 21st, 2021. Do you recall that evening pretty well?
Not very.
Do you recall what you were doing that evening?
Yes.
And what were you doing that evening?
Taking my mother's car to our mechanic friend.
We shifted from TMJ4 because we weren't
Were you
getting
aware of
more volume.
a parade going on that evening?
No.
Around what time were you taking your mom's car to be inspected?
I don't recall.
Do you recall seeing anything that caught your attention that evening?
Yes.
Can you state what that was?
A smashed up red car.
Did he see it at the
And do you
mechanics?
recall where you saw that at?
Yeah, where did you see it?
I believe it is Prospect Court Street.
So he saw the car after the parade when he was taking a car. Okay.
And at the time you observed this smashed up car, as you say, did you see anyone driving it?
Yes.
And were you able to make a description of who was driving it?
I believe so.
I think it's
And what do
Abercrombie.
you recall?
I don't recall what I said.
Chat. The bird logo on the sweater. Let us know.
You don't recall what you said or
Not
saw?
Lacoste.
I don't recall what I exactly said when I gave my statement.
Do you recall what you saw?
Oh,
No.
for sure. Spiked apple cider. Hot toddy.
No, you made reference to giving the statement.
Hollister.
I'm assuming that would be to law enforcement.
I
Is
don't
that
know
what-
things.
Yes.
And
Thanks, chat. Chat is bae.
did they write down? Well, let me back up. How was that interview conducted? Was that an in-person interview over the phone, or?
In person.
And do you recall if the law enforcement officer was writing down what you were telling them or recording it?
I don't recall.
Every time I try to have a cracker, he's in the middle of a fluid sentencing stream, and then I try to eat, and it's a mess. We're not turning this into a mukbang. Yes, he's aware he can call himself to testify. The judge went over it yesterday, and we'll probably go over it again. I can't imagine that he won't.
Did you observe the vehicle stop at any point in time?
No.
So it was pretty much you just saw it just kind of just rolling past.
Yes.
That's leading. I'll be very surprised if he
Did you
doesn't
notice if
testify.
the vehicle had any tents?
Any what?
Tents, like tinted windows?
No.
No, you didn't notice, or no, it didn't have any. That's why you need to ask good questions, because that answer is vague. Well, thank you so much, McAllister, veteran-in-law, former LDCX debater in high school. Emily, your swag, we're living for it. I mean, I don't know if it's swag, it's sass at this point. I'm
Do you
just so annoyed.
recall in your interview with law enforcement, well, let me back up a little bit. Was it
Yes, our chat
Your
rules
interview
are
with
breaded,
law
and you're
enforcement
welcome to not be here.
the
We have
same
chat rules
evening that
because of
you
this
saw
community.
vehicle,
Thanks, though.
or
Thanks for stopping
sometime
by and checking it out, Ross.
The same evening.
We'll check it out, Duncan.
Do you recall stating during the interview that evening that you observed the driver as a black male with short hair and a short beard?
I don't recall exactly what I said.
Well, he had very long dreads, so that would be interesting. If he testifies who would question him, he would do kind of a
Do you
narrative.
recall stating at any time during that interview that evening that you believe you saw the operator of the vehicle reach down and grab something as they were driving past?
Yes.
Did you ever see them?
I don't know if he knows what will help him and what won't at this point.
Did you ever see what was what you believe was being grabbed?
No.
And what did you think at that moment that you saw the operator of this vehicle reach down?
I was unsure.
This guy's a great witness. Truly, he's a great witness. He just answers exactly what's asked.
Do you recall in your
Just
interview
just
with
a
law
small
enforcement
thing.
that evening stating that you thought it was possibly a gun?
Yes.
a lot of these are leading. They're
And where
just
did you-
trying to get through
where
it.
did you observe the vehicle go after it had passed you?
I turned away after it passed me.
Fair. All of these are good answers. Like just concise,
Do you recall
succinct.
what the operator of the vehicle was wearing at the time that it passed you?
I do not remember.
Good way of answering. Which is fair.
Do you recall during your interview with law enforcement that evening stating that you thought the operator was wearing a black sweater or jacket as it drove past you?
If that is what is written,
He
you
just is like,
recall
I don't
seeing
remember.
no.
I don't remember. Reasonable doubt is kind of muddying the waters, truly pointing out possible doubt. I don't know if this witness is getting him there, but the witness is answering
And
very
do you
well.
recall where your interview with law enforcement that evening took place?
Fair
Yes.
question.
And where did it take place?
My house.
And was anyone present with you during your interview with law enforcement that evening?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think this witness adds
My mother.
anything. But this is a lesson in how to answer as a witness. Great. Just
And do you recall what
Just answering what's
agency
asked.
your interview was conducted by?
as
Yes.
short as
Did you
possible.
state for the jury in the record?
The FBI.
The FBI. Why does he ask people what they do for a living? Probably because he heard the prosecution do it. So
Do you recall stating
they're not.
in your interview that evening
For him.
with law enforcement that you heard a lot of gunshots?
Yes.
I'll talk about this at the break
And
too.
do you recall I think that's a little bit unfair to say.
You don't get to run commentary on your own questions. We
If you
run
had to
commentary on your
estimate.
questions.
Where do you think those gunshots were coming from, like vicinity wise?
It sounded from downtown.
And when you say a lot of shots, what would you describe as a lot of shots?
Like a full magazine.
Queen Di, I spent a lot of time in court doing cases like this, so I'm used to it. I am. We got this question a lot yesterday too, Linda, over on Facebook. How much time is allowed? As long as he's being respectful and moving things along, the judge is going to let it go. There's no time limit. This is a criminal case. The judge can put time limits on opening and closing. The judge can put time limits on the tantrum and saying, look, if you can either come back and call a witness or we're done, but no time limit on the witnesses. He's taking about 30 minutes per witness is what we've been seeing. He really doesn't know where he's going with this questioning. He really doesn't know what he's doing. If this was an attorney, the judge would be already like, next question, counsel. He would not get this time to sit there and figure out where he's going with this. That's what you do before trial, not in the middle of
Recall
it.
seeing the vehicle that you observed crash into anything?
No.
These witnesses would not have been prepped by the state unless they were also called by the state. The state would have called them and said, you're a witness on this witness list, you've been served, and that's it. Like, that's it. They wouldn't prep the defense's witnesses.
Do you recall stating in your interview with law enforcement that evening that the vehicle appeared to slow down while traveling down Prospect Court?
Yes.
Though, if you ever need to prep a witness, the way this guy's answering is a good way to show people how to prep a witness. Don't try to anticipate what they mean. Don't try to anticipate what they're asking. Listen exactly to the question and answer exactly and nothing more.
At some time after observing this vehicle, did you call 911?
Yes.
Do you recall around what time you called 911?
No.
Do you recall shortly after seeing this vehicle texting anyone?
Yes.
Do you recall who that was?
My girlfriend.
And what did you tell her?
I
The
don't know.
yawn. The yawn. He didn't even try to
Recall
hide it.
telling her there's a shooting?
I kind of
Possibly.
love that vibe though. It's like, I'm not even interested in you, man. Bored. I'm bored. That was funny. Kind of like Dorit Kemsley getting yawned at by Andy Cohen in 2 reunions in a row on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and being like, I'm sorry, am I boring you? I don't think Brooks saw the yawn, but the yawn was kind of funny. He did. He just totally yawned. That was hilarious. And he didn't even try to hide it, like bored. Cause it is. All right, we're gonna answer questions as we go.
Did you see anyone else in the vehicle?
No.
I think some of the questions the public defenders had prepped, but I don't know how much.
But you do recall seeing the operator wearing a black sweater.
I don't remember.
And this witness doesn't know how to impeach him with the police report. So normally an attorney could say, oh, you said this to police, you're saying this now, and they could impeach him with it. But that's a process that needs to be gone through. He doesn't know the
Observe at any time that evening seeing
process to do
someone
that.
run from the vehicle?
No.
He doesn't know the process to do that. So. Yep. He's going to make everyone yawn. I bet the jury's yawning. All right, y'all. If anyone's new here, go ahead, do the YouTube-y things. And I can't turn it up a little, chat. I see you. I've switched to a couple different streams. This is just where
Do you
we're
recall
at.
why you would have gave a description that evening when initially interviewed by law enforcement?
Because I saw the person in the car.
Thank you, Why You Mad? He's trying to get to a Miss ID. That's where
And
we're
how
going.
did that person look?
I don't remember.
Grounds?
This answer may stand.
There was an objection. I didn't hear the grounds.
I don't recall.
He did say, I don't recall.
No further questions at this time.
He couldn't impeach him because he doesn't know how,
You may sit down and you are excused.
which he needs a lawyer to do that. It sounds like this witness might have had an inconsistent identification of the defendant driving. That would be important to know. This defendant doesn't know how to impeach him with his own police report.
All right, go ahead, call your next witness.
And when we get to the next break, I have something to discuss outside of the presence of the jury.
Great, call your next witness. Great, but
You
call
wanna
your
do
next.
that now or after your next
We
witness?
can.
No.
All right.
Your Honor,
this is a legal
no!
issue, and we'll bring the jury back in
Stop
when we're
it!
ready. All rise for the jury, please.
Don't give him the option. He said at the next break. Here's what the judge should have done. At the next break. Great. Call your next witness. We will take the afternoon break after your next witness. Don't let him don't give him room to run. He said at the next break. Yes, let's call one more witness and then we will take the next break. Now, is this the afternoon break? Anyway, so he couldn't impeach him with the police report because he didn't follow the process to say, but you previously said this, now you're saying this. Bro, you had something to say it.
Curious.
Your curiosity is not what we're concerned about at the moment.
Some of these, judging by the reports,
Oh, he totally smirked.
how are some of these answers allowed to pass when
You can't
they're
ask,
coming straight from reports made by the people on the stand?
you can't
Very
ask,
curious.
I don't understand your question.
you can't ask for legal advice, sir. Ask your
I'm not sure
lawyer.
what you're asking me.
What I'm asking is,
Ask your lawyer. He's trying to ask how to impeach. He is. That's why you don't represent yourself.
Reading from the report that the people on the stand are giving, the report that they gave to law enforcement.
If you're asking me whether there's
Nope,
a
nope, don't-
mechanism in the rules of evidence,
Do not
how
help.
to establish that before the jury, the answer to that is yes. If you're asking me how you do that, I'm not gonna answer that.
I didn't ask how.
You shouldn't have asked.
I just
He's asking legal questions.
to be blunt, which I've been since the beginning of the show.
I don't know how to do this shit, but I'm doing it anyway. Sorry about the cursor.
I see the whole strategy here by the prosecution.
Great.
I see right through it.
Yeah, they're trying to prosecute you for
Don't
murdering
have
people
any cross-examination,
because these witnesses are irrelevant.
mainly because you've already schooled the people getting on the stand on how to answer certain things.
No.
That is completely speculative on your part without
It's
any
obvious.
basis in law or
It's
fact.
obvious.
Sir,
You're bad at
you
this
could ask questions.
because
that
you're not a
establish
lawyer.
That, you can ask them if they've met with anyone, you haven't done that. So for you to
Don't tell
say
him.
that right now is without basis.
Don't tell him what to do.
If you want to,
It's clear.
if you
Great.
are looking to elicit what they said in the report, there is a way under the rules of evidence.
Don't
based
tell him.
upon the way the
Don't
witnesses have answered to clarify that.
Stop
But
helping.
that requires you to call certain witnesses. I'm not
Stop
going to give you
helping.
any
I
more
don't think I have
legal
to- I don't
advice
think I
further
have to-
than that.
I don't think I have to
So
call any other witnesses that's
if
not
you're
on the
asking me to
stand.
strike their testimony.
Ask your
based
lawyer
on
how to
your
do it.
I didn't say
perceived,
anything
then that's
about that.
Stop
all right, then I'm
interpreting.
going to bring the jury back out and you're going to call your next witness.
Great.
So I'm
So
not
is you-
hearing a request from you at this time. You said you wanted to raise a legal issue. What's
What
the
is it?
legal issue?
He wants to impeach the
Issue
witness.
is how
And he
is the
doesn't know
state
how.
allowed to
Not cross-examine.
coach the
You're
people getting on the
assuming they
stand?
spoke to them and coached them.
It's obvious.
Ask
I'm
the
not
witness.
stupid.
Well, I disagree with that, sir. Again, you could
Did
ask
she
questions
disagree
to
with-
lay a foundation
All of a sudden, the
with
state
these
don't got.
witnesses.
All of a sudden, for the first time in trial, all of a sudden now they don't got no cross. That's clearly a rush to try to get through the case. Hurry up. We just gonna let these people go.
Well, this is
Because these witnesses
argument-
are irrelevant.
This is argument on your part,
I
sir.
see
It
through
is pure
I just
commentary
want
at this
that on the
point.
record. I see through it.
Yes, it is commentary. We're the only ones giving commentary.
I see through it.
Has
Great.
absolutely no basis in
But
fact.
I know that's what's being done.
You could
on, man.
ask
I'm-
these questions, you could
Come on,
ask
man.
these
Got the right
witnesses
one.
certain questions.
Stop,
and
Your
you're-
Honor.
Far from an idiot.
they're
Stop
your witnesses,
telling
sir.
him
You
what to
believe-
ask.
So I'm gonna start asking every witness up here that they seem just to mysteriously now not have any cross for. Have they been coached to answer
Ask
the right
'em.
answer?
Well,
Because
you
Fine.
can't do that, but
I
you can
find
ask
it
them
very
if they've
funny.
met with anyone ahead of
I
their
find it
testimony
very
here
funny.
today.
Stop
What
telling
have
him.
you done with other witnesses?
I find it very funny that these are their reports, and now all of a sudden you can. Oh, I saw the person in the car. Oh, but
Mr. Brooks,
I
this
saw
is
them
an
reach
attempt
for
by
something.
you
Oh,
to
I don't.
delay these
I don't
Yes.
recall what they had on.
She should have made him call the next witness.
Saying this right
Stop
now.
fighting with him.
What they had on. I find that
All right,
very.
I'm having the jury brought
man.
out. I'm instructing you to
Come on, man.
avoid the
She caused
commentary.
this.
When the jury comes out, or you will.
I
She
didn't
caused
say-
all of
I didn't
this.
say nothing. You.
Before we do that, there's a issue that we do need to take up.
This is on the judge.
As to a witness by the name of Abel Lezcano. He has prior criminal history.
Thank you.
Oh, shit.
So as long as the jury's out, we should probably
Disclose
that.
it.
I would like to provide the defendant.
The defendant should have done this research, but couldn't.
a copy
So that had
of
to be
the-
said. So it's the defendant.
Oh, he doesn't like the
That's not how it
prosecutor's
was said.
That
tone.
was how I said. You want to run the record back?
Mr. Brooks,
So I'm the only one. I got one. I
Mr.
got
This
one
dude's
ear
trying
that
not to
work, and
laugh.
I heard that.
this
Come on,
is
man.
to benefit
man.
you so
No,
that
it's
you
not.
understand
Ain't none of
your
this to benefit me,
witness
so let's
has
Well,
a
that's-
prior
that.
record.
Your
Damn
Honor, when
it.
I leave the table, I'm away from the courtroom, and I have to elevate my voice. This is the
So she had to
alleged
elevate her
record of
voice
Abel
just for that.
Lezcano.
Stop talking.
Come on, man. Like, I don't know who y'all be thinking y'all fooling. I accept the value, return the value.
One more interruption and you're going to be removed to the next.
That's what he
report.
What you
wants.
want to do anyway?
Your Honor,
Not
stop
what
it.
I want to do. Do not interrupt.
Oh my
me
God.
ever.
So can
Stop.
you
Your Honor, I
can you
believe he
please-
has 7 prior criminal
Thank you.
convictions via OWI second from 1997, and OWI third from 1997.
So DUIs.
And OWI fourth from 2003, criminal trespass to dwelling from 2006.
All right, I need to take a break. This man right now is having a stare down with me. It's
Oh.
very disrespectful. He pounded
That's
his fist.
threatening.
Frankly, it makes me scared. And we're taking a break.
He's threatening the judge. Look at that. No, roll it back. Hold on. Look at this
You're
face.
done with the-
We're rolling it back real quick.
I find
He-
it very funny that
I rolled
these
it back
are
too
their
far.
reports, and saw
There's
the
an
breach for
attempt by
something.
you right
Don't-
now to
Come on, man.
avoid the commentary when the jury comes out, or you will
I didn't
forfeit
say-
your right to be
I didn't say
present.
nothing. You.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Hold on.
jury's out of the court.
And that
He's mocking her
not-
voice.
ain't none of this
Your
to benefit me.
witness
So let's
has
be
a
clear about
prior
that.
record.
Your Honor, when I leave the
This
table,
is a
I'm
shit
away from the
show.
courtroom, and I have to elevate my voice.
Oh my
This
God.
is the
So she had to
alleged
elevate her
record of
voice
Abel
just for
Lezcano.
that.
Stop talking.
Come on, man. Like I don't know who y'all be thinking y'all fooling. I accept for value, return for value. This document.
One more interruption, and you're gonna be.
So I don't know who y'all think you're fooling. She said one more interruption, and then we got to hear the pound on the table. I was focused on the prosecutor and the DUIs that are DWIs.
Be removed to the next
That's
courtroom.
what you want to do anyway.
It's not what I want to do. Do not interrupt Attorney Opera.
So can
Your
you
Honor,
tell?
I
can you
believe he
explain-
has 7 prior criminal convictions via OWI
There it
second
is.
from 1997 and OWI third from
I
1997.
mean, you could hear him take a huge breath like a.
OWI fourth from 2003, criminal trespass to dwelling from 2006.
All right, I need to take a
Oh,
break.
shit.
This man right now is having a stare down with me. It's very disrespectful. He pounded his fist. Frankly, it makes me scared. And we're taking a break.
Your Honor, don't tell him you're scared. That face. This is intense today. And this is why I said that the judge should have gotten through the next witness and then taken the afternoon break. It's just so wild. And the judge saying, I'm scared. What are they going to do? I mean, what is the judge going to do? This is very intense today. It's wild. We were watching the earlier stuff going on, but I'm going to go through the super chats and questions. So let's see. The judge has given him too much leeway and he feels super comfortable. So yeah, she did. She took a break. He wanted a break. She took a break. He's trying to intimidate the judge. She felt intimidated. We need to give the judge a pep talk. Donna, I'm taking that as the joke that it is, but unfortunately in cases like this, the judges do get harassed. So all of us need to give the judge a pep talk and be like, you need to assert your control over your courtroom. His behavior continues to escalate. And then he gets into a conversation with the witness and he's fine. And then he doesn't have control again. And then he escalates. What was happening before the break was that the judge was the prosecution was attempting to disclose prior convictions of one of the witnesses that's on the witness list for today. And when someone has certain convictions, they are disclosed to the defense, and some convictions can be used to impeach the credibility of the witness. So if you have a record of fraud and perjury and crimes of veracity, truth crimes, things that can go to your ability to tell the truth, sometimes those can come in. So that's what they were trying to do. I know. Where's Judge Penny? Judge Penny's a retired Marine. That's who you need in this court to just be like, I'm not putting up with anyone. Will this situation cause a mistrial? No, it shouldn't. Not at this point. But he's just the worst. They need to stop moving him back and forth between courts too. So, man, oh man, oh man. So we need this judge to kind of put on the black robe and judge up. Go listen to some Taylor Swift, man. A new album dropped at midnight. Get your winged liner so sharp it'll cut a bitch or a man or whatever. Like, Your Honor, put on some 50 Cent. Tap into your inner badass and just control your courtroom. She is trying to work with him. There is no working with him. There is no working with him. He drove through a parade route full of people. There is no working with him. I have never seen anything like this. Then again, there were times during Deputy Heard that I'm like, I've never seen anything like this either. I've seen a lot in my life, but nothing like this. We did have a courtroom devolve into madness where we thought we were going to have shots fired in the courthouse. I've seen some wild things happen in court, but nothing like this. I had a friend who was in court where the defendant actually pulled poop out of their pants and started throwing it in court. A friend who was a judge was doing a trial where the defendant had snuck apples into the courtroom from lunch and started hurling them at the judge and at the witness stand. And that terrified everyone. Like I've seen things happen in court. But I've had defendants on cases that I've been on try to sneak weapons into court. We've seen things happen. But this is a whole nother level of, and this is on and on and on. At least with the poop, it's like a moment, you clean it up and it's done. Stuff like that. So let's see. We're going to get to super chats and questions. You guys, if you put a question mark in front, it's easier for me to see that it's a question, not just the chatting with everybody, because, you know, it is. The poop and the apples, by the way, we're in different courthouses. Different courthouses. I've seen all kinds of stuff. It was a long career. So I feel bad for this court staff. I feel bad for the prosecution. The prosecution has to be sitting there going, Your Honor, you have to do something. And they can't. They can't talk to the judge ex parte. They're in the middle of trial. They must be very, very frustrated. Can someone talk to the judge? The judge needs the other judges in the courthouse and needs their support and needs them to help. So, all right, why wasn't the ex put back on the stand to officially dismiss her? I got the sense that she was back up on the stand and the DA said no further questions and it happened while the defendant was out, but I don't know. This will get appealed if he's convicted. It just will. Have I seen anything appealable? They will find lots to appeal because of how wild this is. Will it be successful? I don't know. We will see. Audrey said, dang, Emily, your devotion to the law, truth, kindness. Those of us who watch and love you, and of course, facts makes me tear up. Thank you. Oh, you're so kind. That's a tremendously kind super chat. Thank you. As I said, we will try to get through all super chats. I cannot guarantee that I will get through all of them while we are on stream because we will get interrupted by this stream again. Jules, thanks for saying what I've been thinking. We're trying. Assert your dominance, Judge. Exactly. A wise man once said, a man who represents himself has a fool for a client. And that's the thing. This defendant is out of their depth. They are trying to control a situation they can't control. They are probably afraid somewhere. It's somewhere deep inside. And it is just lashing out in every which way, which happens even when people are represented by lawyers. But when people are represented by lawyers and they lash out like that, they get removed from the courtroom and the lawyer continues on and protects their rights without their client sitting next to them. It happens. But it's very, very hard when the defendant's the lawyer, but also he knows that. And that's why we're here. How many bailiffs in the courtroom? I couldn't see. I'm sure there's plenty of bailiffs. How should he impeach the witness? What's the proper way to do it? I will give a breakdown on that on later streams. I don't know how much access to YouTube people have, and I don't want to help. There is a process. I'm not going to get into impeachment of a witnesses until this trial's over. I've learned through everything I've done, you never know who's watching, and I am not. The judge is helping too much. So the judge is helping too much, and it's frustrating. All right, let's go see. This is also a good time to go look for a different feed and see if it's a little bit louder. Of course, we won't know until it comes back on, but let's go see. Oh, our feed is showing up in the live trending. Go ahead and do the YouTube things like the stream, do all that. We're going to try and see if the TMJ4 stream is any better than it was earlier. And we'll just see. We're going to keep going. But I am not using Chrome. Chrome is what crashed my computer yesterday, so I don't have a Chrome And I can't put in a Chrome extension. You can tell he's ruled by fear. I mean, he just is. Is sentencing prior to any appeal? Yeah, they might file notice of appeal before. Law and crime is really loud. Law and crime is really the last channel I want to use, truthfully. This should be a PSA to all future defendants. Unfortunately, there will be some who watch this and are like, yes, fuck you, fuck the judge, fuck the state, fuck the process, fuck the jury. This is how I can disrupt everything. So while it should be a cautionary tale of anyone who actually doesn't want to get convicted, there will be some who just don't care. Can the prosecution complain? Not really. Because if he's convicted, the prosecution can't appeal. If he's not convicted, the prosecution can't appeal. So there's not much the prosecution can do, and they can't have an ex parte with the judge. So anyway, the poor stenographer, yes. Law and crime mad because Emily has more views sometimes. They have tried to warrant copyright, not just strikes, but copyright takedowns on streams. I've had issues with them. Other streamers have had issues with them. It's just. Junie asked, is it true this is the witness from yesterday? If that was true of that witness, it would have been disclosed to the defendant. I don't know if it would have come up, but it would have been disclosed to the defendant and not really relevant to this case, but he could have been impeached on any, it would be on the record somewhere, but he could be impeached on any convictions that he may have. Don't know. So I liked the way he answered questions. Why would she admit that she's scared of him? I think that was a contemporaneous reaction. There have been defendants that have scared me, that their behavior has scared me. You just don't say it. That's what there's bailiffs for. But I think the judge is probably exhausted, and it's very hard to step into somebody else's shoes when they are dealing with a trial like this week after week after week after week. I streamed for part of the day yesterday and part of the day today. I have a headache and I'm tired. This dude is exhausting. So I don't think it was conscientious. I think it was just she had to put it on the record. But it's feeling chaos. It's just feeling chaos. So I'm sure people are trying to look into that witness, which I don't like. It would have been on the record somewhere. If he had a prior record, it would have been disclosed. So let's see. I was trying to pull up a different question. Sorry. Somebody said, or asked about whether she would be meeting with the site judge. I hope so. I hope there's another judge on site who can help. So I was just on Fox 6. That's the feed that we were using. So that. Let's see. Question, isn't her helping him a little bit unfair to the prosecution? The prosecution has the weight of the state behind it. So I think it is too much. I think the judge is doing too much to help. Do I think it's unfair to the prosecution? Not really. I mean, he's representing himself. An attorney would have been able to impeach a witness. She's not supposed to give advice. And she puts herself in a position where if she misstated law to him, or if she gave any kind of recommendation, that could become or create an appealable issue where there might not be one. She is supposed to treat him as an attorney. So she's not even supposed to say there's a process to do this. Attorneys know that. She's not supposed to give him anything other than her rulings. So, all right, let's get to some super chats because I've been delayed. I'm sorry. So have you seen the Nick Kirby news interview about his appearance yesterday? I haven't. I fell down it. My kids had homework help yesterday, so we've been doing all the things. I'm hearing here. Let's see if Firefox has a volume extension. I'm gonna look real quick. It's thrilling streaming, but it's killing me, and I don't know if it would be better on any other feed, other than maybe. Well, Court TV runs so far behind, and then the problem is Law and Crime. Well, we've already talked about the problem with Law and Crime. You know, if they weren't rude, it wouldn't be a problem. Let's see. This is not for Firefox. Let's see. All right. Add-ons. There we go. All right, we're gonna give it a try. We're doing it on the Hopefully it doesn't go south. And if it does, whatevs. Can they do some type of testing to see if he's mentally unfit to represent himself? They did that. So no, they did that. They did all of the competency hearings. He was found competent to represent himself. That's been done. This is gamesmanship. So the gamesmanship is a part of it, but he's competent. He's competent. So Jinseb would like to see Borski handle this. I mean, do we know what his motivation? Thanks. And sorry if it was asked. No, it's okay. I don't mind asking, or I don't mind answering repeat questions at all. I really don't. We don't know. And we don't know his theory of it. But no, I don't know why he did this. I think it's a lot of speculation. If he testifies, maybe he'll say, I mean, it seems that his thoughts are he seems to go with operator error or accident or something like that. So, do you think this experience of the judge speaking, older judges may have handled it differently? Maybe, or I don't know how different judges would have handled it. It's a difficult thing, really, because they want to make sure that they do everything right. And he's very, very difficult. So I think they're trying. Oh my God, what just happened? She's breaking because she's afraid. Yeah. But he did have that. I imagine in court that you would have felt that stare. And I think that's what she was getting to by saying that. All right. It says I added this browser, but it doesn't say where. Where did it go? Do I have control over it? Or does it just, there it is. All right, good. All right, I'm going to boost the volume up to 200 and then we'll mess with it from there. Thanks, chat. Chat's always bae. This is why I like live streaming. I like to interact with y'all. So the judge should have handcuffed him now. And that's the other thing. With him being, yes, he has shackles on his feet, but he's not required to be shackled either. So the judge should in no way feel intimidated by the defendant. Shouldn't. So let's see. This is not the first time. This is not the first time that they've gone back and forth with this judge. So let's see. I don't use OBS. So I use StreamYard because it's easy. But if we keep having this problem and we keep live streaming trials, I might have to switch. I've had lovely conversations with Ecamm, so we'll see. He does have shackles on his legs, but putting him in handcuffs also creates problems. I know he has shockers too. And that's hard as well because there's a bunch of case law on using shockers and him making mad face and her feeling intimidated is not the same as him trying to leap a table or physically act out. So, and this is the thing, the jury was out of the room, so they didn't see it, but the jury was out of the room. I'm just frustrated. So, all right, we have over 100 super chats. Thank you all. We're going to try to get to as many as we can. I can't believe this court is on break again. I've never in my life have we streamed a tire with so many breaks. If you think this guy is bad but want to laugh, you should check out our Adult Swim's The Trial of Tim Heidecker. It was basically this court case, but funny. You should do a react stream to it when you aren't too busy. Thank you so much. I will absolutely take a look at Adult Swim. We love some humor. We need another like late night stream. I might have to do a stream about what's going on TikTok with Sam Smith's Unholy and the account that did the cover of it before it was released based on the teaser. There's a lot of the copyright ness going on there, and that might be fun. So that might be funny. Do you think it's bad the judge said she was scared? I think it's bad she said it. I think with a defendant who is trying to establish his dominance and control and intimidation, letting them know that it worked is bad. With any bully, letting them know that you feel intimidated is bad. I think. I'm not a psychologist. I'm just old and have lived a life. So I think that's a problem. So yeah, I think that's a problem. Let's see. Come on, judge, put on your big girl pants. I mean, I would like to see that too. I don't know if it's been said, but she's the chief judge at that courthouse. I mean, if she's the site judge, then hopefully she has a colleague. And site judges rotate. They're not always by most senior. So hopefully there's a colleague where that will have a conversation with her and she can have a conversation with security. But she seems exacerbated today. Cried after the Kirby interview. He feels like it's his fault because he told him to leave because the police were coming. That is heartbreaking. He seemed so angry. And that might be why, if he also feels guilty, that might be why he felt so angry. But these witnesses have been very authentic. They've been very good. It's interesting to watch this testimony play out in a trial that has no, celebrity like we saw in Depp v. Heard, and just to watch it play out. So he held that stare the entire time. She was pointing it out till he was off camera. Yeah. This is delaying everything, but delay what? Like at this point, delay what? I don't know. Maybe a dumb question, but why does LawTube always say this is not legal advice? Can someone claim you as their lawyer if you don't? People can try. And the rules of professional conduct vary by jurisdiction on what you can and can't say. But if you, I never want anyone to construe what I'm giving as legal advice, because it's truly, truly not legal advice, because your mileage may vary. Your situation is different. Legal advice is personal to you, your situation, your life, your experience, the jurisdiction, and what happened. You need so much information to actually give good legal advice. Unless I say something tongue in cheek, like not legal advice, but also your rights only work if you assert them. Then, it's more of life advice, not specific legal advice. But it's also because, yes, in some jurisdictions, somebody saying this person said this, so I felt like I was their client can cause problems. So that. But this is never legal advice. I'm here to give commentary and help you understand the law and the legal words, and hope that I help you understand why lawyers can matter in your situation if you ever need one. So. Because this is why you need lawyers. The legal, and you're seeing it with this defendant. Our legal system is so deeply complex that, well, we saw in the Johnny Depp Amber Heard case that not even lawyers always have a great grasp of it in certain contexts. You might have a lawyer who's brilliant at appeals, who can't conduct a hearing in court. That's not what they do every day. So you not just need a lawyer, but you need a lawyer in your specific area. And in the specific area you're asking about, if you want that kind of legal advice. So there's a lot between general legal advice, like business legal advice, and then granular litigation. Litigation like this is so very, very specific. And it's hard. And you learn as you go. And you get better as you go. Year over year over year. McCall says, are they on another break? Yep. We went to break when the judge said, basically, the defendant is scaring me by mad dogging at me, and I need to take a break. I don't know how many minutes that was ago, because I have ADHD and time blindness, and I have no idea what happens. Somebody was asking, where did I go yesterday? My computer completely crashed. So it yeeted me. My computer was like, I've reached my fuckery threshold. I'm out. And that was it. Can she close this case in chief for him? Yes, she can. She hasn't yet, but yes, she can. Have you ever seen a judge lose their shit? Yes. Yes. I have seen it happen to people I know. I have seen it happen to me. I have seen it happen on the record. I have seen it in the presence of the jury, outside the presence of the jury, in chambers. Yes, I've seen judges lose their shit. I've seen judges say some crazy shit. I've seen judges say some funny shit. I've seen judges that I thought were ready to grab the bailiff's gun and shoot somebody. I've seen judges at all very levels of angry. I've seen judges go fucking off in sentencing, depending on the crime. Just go in. Judges are human. Everyone in our legal system is human. They have human moments. This defendant has been testing this judge's patience. The thing is, this defendant loves it. It's like fighting on Twitter, this case. Sometimes one party fucking loves it. There are people who love to fight on Twitter. Love it. They don't care what you say to them. They don't care how it's going for them. They don't care. They just want to live for the fight. Fight. And then there's people who fucking hate it and don't want to engage and don't want to fight on Twitter because it's not a place for nuance. And they don't want to have interactions like that. This dude is the dude who wants to fight and is loving it. The judge just wants to run their courtroom and get out of here. And he's like, I don't give a fuck. I've got nothing but time. So what we're going to do is what I'm going to do. We're going to fight nonstop. Fight, 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 fight. It's not helping him, but at least when he's fighting, he feels like he's doing something instead of sitting there watching himself be prosecuted to go away to prison for the rest of his life. I wonder if he feels that fighting gives him something to do. He's now an active participant because he's fighting it instead of just sitting there and letting his attorney fight on his behalf. So anyway, I'm going to make this small. I'm going to go through some things. Owen said, delete Twitter for your mental health. I don't engage. The reason I'm on Twitter is to engage with y'all. I love engaging with y'all. I love seeing memes. I love talking to law nerds. That's why. So let's see. It's silly that she's scared of him, though. He's shackled to the table. I've been in courtrooms with defendants who are fully shackled and felt the chill. I understand this, Judge. This reminds me of Colin Ferguson, Long Island Railroad trial. I have not seen that trial. If he does testify on cross-examination, can the prosecution treat him as a hostile witness? T.S. Lizard Wizard, they don't have to. Hostile witness, we talked about this a bit yesterday. Hostile witness means not angry. It's just like malice in defamation doesn't mean like angry malice. It means a witness on the other side. He is the witness on the other side.
By bringing the jury out momentarily, Madam Clerk.
So,
and having you call your next witness.
a hostile witness is a witness that you've called yourself and you want to cross-examine them and treat them as if they are a witness not called by you.
Right then.
We need to complete the task of.
Yes.
I knew I would left something in my office, but I reviewed it, so go ahead.
In medias res.
What
You
is the state's
left it in the middle.
request then as it relates to the prior record?
The prior record.
I believe the proper answer would be 7 prior convictions, Your Honor, and that would not obviously be counting the OWI first conviction from 1993, which is at the top because it's the age of that.
Yeah.
Obviously, that would not have been a crime, but everything from OWI second on down, we believe would be appropriate. There's also one that's noted, 06 CM 2039. It was a case, but all the charges were dismissed and read in, so we're not counting that file either.
Ooh, there's the plug-in.
Please. Thank you.
Hopefully that
Just
helps.
gonna have that brought back out. I took it with and I left it on my desk.
So hostile witness means you get to cross-examine them. They get to cross-examine them anyway.
Remind me the statute again on priors.
Is this better? Does it work? Did it work? Did it work?
90609.
Thank you.
Okay.
And a copy of the
OWI,
record was
operating while
provided
impaired.
to the
It's a
defendant.
DUI.
It was. It has not been discussed with.
Chat is bay.
That was going to be kind of my next topic once, thank you. I look at this again.
Thanks, chat. So they're going over the prior witnesses, or the witnesses' prior convictions, and what will come in and out.
All right, Mr. Brooks, do you have a position on the prior convictions
He's like, what
for
am I
this
supposed to say? I
witness?
don't know.
The state is asking for a determination by this court that there are 7 prior convictions for purposes of questioning the witness, whether that's by you or by them if they so choose. And that would be for
He
a
doesn't-
determination under 90609.
He doesn't know how to do that, though. So he doesn't know how to do that. Okay. The defendant has chosen not to respond. Moving on. Good, moving on. The defendant has chosen not to respond. Moving on. He is now trying to be silent to reestablish control. Right.
Mr. Brooks?
Great. Move on.
You may recall, at some point, I believe we had a
Stop
discussion
explaining to him.
about
Just move
prior
on. An attorney
convictions.
would be required to remember what happened before lunch. So should he. So should he. Move on.
Maybe we only discussed that if you were to testify, we would have to have that conversation. So in fairness, I don't.
Tony,
There was
why?
one state's witness that had one prior.
Fair. Oh, the prosecution's just jumping in. It's fair.
discussed
That's
in
right.
court rule.
We did. I recall now. So at that point, I directed your attention to 90609. And then I made a ruling based upon the factors that are enumerated in that statute. You've been provided with a listing of the record.
No, then I wouldn't get to stream and give commentary. I just want to give
Direct your
commentary
attention to,
on everything.
I'm not sure if I see that book out there, but the statute book that I previously provided to you, but that the 90609 would be in there. But in any event, the state is asking that I make a determination about how many for purposes of the questioning of this witness. Do you have any comment, statement, or position on
That's
that?
rude. That's rude on YouTube. I'm sorry. It does that sometimes. She's probably uncomfortable because she hates that she said she was afraid. It just happened in the moment. Yeah, Marie, I think salvation's his only option at this point. But he's definitely not going to,
Looks like it's 9 on here.
it's not 9.
Which is the one the state referenced that the charges are listed, but they were dismissed?
2000, well, it's recorded as 06 CM 2039.
He's not
Two
looking.
times
Doesn't matter.
violate harassment/restraining order, and then it says DM/RI, which means dismissed and read in. 2X MBJ, which would be 2 times misdemeanor bail jumping, dismissed and read in. So no convictions from that file.
So why is it on the sheet?
Sir, we're not explaining to you how rap sheets work. Ask your lawyer.
This would be an accurate listing of the cases that you found when investigating the witness's background.
Yes, Your Honor.
Y'all, we need to find something to distract us with each trial.
And nothing since
We're not counting what if any's today.
2007.
That's correct.
All right. Any statement you want to make, sir, on what the number of convictions this court should consider under 90609?
What
I
is
don't think that was
dismissed
strategic.
and
I think that was in the moment. True, that's just my.
Does that mean there is no charge?
No, it means it was
Don't explain to him. He is the lawyer. He doesn't need it
when there was
explained
a
to him.
conviction for something else. The charge was dismissed and read in, and then the court considered it at the time of sentencing.
Yep.
So they are not convictions, but it was a case.
I know, the
So
judge's
that's
hair is
why-
great.
My understanding why it was listed.
My hair's definitely not that thick.
2. So where it says dismissed and read in, that would be the restraining order and the MBJ.
Right, misdemeanor bail
I don't-
jumping.
I don't think he
So 2 counts of
can.
violate harassment restraining order were dismissed and read in, along with 2 counts of
She is over
misdemeanor
it
bail
today.
jumping dismissed and read in. I'm guessing, but the state can confirm that it either was read into 06 CM 1859 or 06 CM 3149.
I know, she's
Yes, I
explaining
believe
a
it
lot.
was the 1859 case, Your Honor.
So at the time of the conviction for resisting obstructing, there was a misdemeanor bail jumping dismissed and read in. And then the other charges, all of
He
which
doesn't
are
know what
listed
any of
under
this means.
06 CM 2039.
They all know what this
Dismissed and
means.
read in.
This is literally as easy as saying, hey, can you get me a glass of water for them? This is common.
So then 8
He just doesn't understand because this is not common for him.
should be 8.
No, because the
The OWI
DUI.
first would not be criminal, as I understand it, and so I believe that's why.
That's why it's
not-
7.
The state did not ask it, that it be counted,
That's why it's 7.
because the statute requires conviction of a crime or an adjudication of delinquency.
And this is why you don't represent yourself, because you don't understand all of the nuance of all of the things. So stop explaining to him and say, it's
So
7.
there's no crime for OWI?
That's not true in this
An
case.
OWI first would not be a
First.
crime, it would be a forfeiture.
That would count. It's a forfeiture of license. More delaying tactics. I think in this instance, he truly doesn't understand. He's like, the sheet says 9. Why are you saying 7? I think he truly just doesn't understand. I think maybe he's being extemporaneous about it and trying to slow it down but I do think he doesn't understand, because of course he doesn't understand. Did all of you?
8 just based on the fact that there's continued OWIs
No, those count. Not the first one though.
all the way up to a 5th.
All the way up to a 5th is a lot of DUIs. Fair. But the first one isn't
Remind
criminal.
the parties of the factors to consider for exclusion include the lapse of time since the conviction, or in this case, convictions.
We're at lipsticking.
Rehabilitation or pardon of the person convicted, the gravity of the crime, the involvement of dishonesty or false
Today's
statement in
Rose
the crime,
Hill.
the frequency of the convictions, and any other relevant factors. So based on that, do you have any argument that it should be less than that?
Less than what, 8?
Well, it'd be less
Seven.
than 7. He has 7
7.
convictions as
We're
I
at
count
7.
them.
One of my favorite numbers. We're at 7.
And that's not counting OWI first.
Correct.
Because it's not a crime, it can't be counted under the
Correct.
statute.
Then it's 7.
Great.
Should be
Move on.
7.
We're all in agreement. Move on.
Do you want to make any argument about whether any should be
Oh, no.
excluded
You
under
gave him the
statute
opportunity to do that 3 times.
based upon the factors I
Nope.
just mentioned?
Move on.
Well, you already made reference to one of them not being a crime. So that brings it to 8. I don't understand the whole.
Well, for example, the last
Now they're going
conviction was
backwards.
in 2007.
They're
It's
going
now
backwards.
2022.
They're going backwards.
So do you want to make an argument to the court that perhaps
No. Don't tell him what
he's
to
been
argue.
rehabilitated?
He doesn't understand that this is his witness and that they're trying to help him.
Speculate on the next man's life.
They're
With
trying
the
to.
7 on here.
This is why she's humoring him. She's trying to protect him. This
Well, I
is
guess
his
it
witness.
brings it to 7.
This is his witness,
Yeah.
and the prosecution is going to ask about the record,
Rather,
possibly.
OWI first is not a crime.
They are trying to get him to argue these shouldn't
still
come in
counts
because they're
as
not
a,
relevant. This is his
Where
witness.
essentially there's nowhere to get to 2, 3, 4, and 5 without the first.
The judge wants him to say 2007
Like
is too
7 to
long
me.
in time, so
All right, then.
these shouldn't come in. The
Anything further from the state on this?
The prosecution's going to question this witness about their record for veracity. He doesn't
Given the number
care.
of convictions,
And now the judge is going to do it on her
actually,
own.
though the first one's not a crime, the OWI first, Mr. Brooks is correct, is from 1993, and without that, you don't get the other criminal
They're
OWIs.
trying to
But I
help
would note,
Brooks.
the record is from 19.
And he doesn't
criminal
get that they're
records
trying to
from
help him.
1997 through
He just doesn't get it.
2007. That spans about a 10-year time span. It's now 2022. But
And now
there's
she's going to do it.
Essentially an agreement by the parties that there are 7 convictions that are listed here.
Yeah, she really wants him
I
to.
looked at the lapse of
pick up
time
on what
since
she's
the
putting down.
convictions. I don't know about rehabilitation or pardon, other than it looks like
So
she
she's
did
just gonna do it
complete
on her
the
own.
Release program, which would have resulted in a reduction of initial confinement.
She's just gonna do it on
and
her
then
own.
Converted to extended supervision. I don't see
Why is my phone blowing up?
violations of
Hmm.
probation listed, meaning that he was revoked. I see some extensions, but that could be for a variety of reasons. But given that there was a pattern with the OWIs, that the last one was a felony.
She's just doing it on
equals
her
to the
own.
gravity of the
Fine.
crime. And the other issues, I'll find that for purposes of his testimony, that this witness has 7 convictions.
This is the judge protecting
He
the
may be
record.
asked,
Truly,
have
this
you
is
been
what
convicted
protecting
of
the
a
record
crime?
looks like.
His answer should be yes, and then the follow-up, how many times, the answer will
Is
be
7. This is the judge trying to protect the record. This is fair. This is the judge trying to protect the record.
He testifies, Your Honor, I believe.
It might not even open the door.
I agree. State willing to relay that information.
I'd rather not, given the
No.
accusations levied by
Correct.
Mr. Brooks. I think
Good.
it's better we do it in open court. Your
Yes,
Right.
without the jury. Here's what just
Who's your
happened.
next witness? Will it be Mr. Lezcano? Because if it is, I'll just have him come in now and I can.
Yes, let's do that.
Put him on the stand and advise him of
That's
that.
what we need to do.
May I ask who's present right now?
Oh, fucking hell.
Well, for sure, Mr. Hayes and Mr. Lezcano, and I'm not sure, the 3:30 witnesses, I think, are probably on their way. they're on their way.
All right, so Hayes and Lezcano are still here.
Yes.
All right, those are the two who are here, sir.
What the judge asked the prosecution to do is to let this witness
Tell you what,
know
either way, let's just bring Mr.
that they
Lezcano
would
in case he's not your first,
ask
but then I don't have to deal
about
with
the prior
interruption, with
convictions.
the jury.
And the judge said to the
No, you're
DA,
not-
can you
don't
advise
have
the
to call him
witness
first unless you want to, but I'll just
that
bring
they
him
will
in
be
and
asked?
advise him.
Normally, the defense
So
attorney would
someone
ask,
from-
would do that.
Victim witness could bring him in, please.
So normally, the defense attorney would say, hey,
Can I have a first name for this
here's your
witness,
rap
please?
sheet. It looks like you have 7 priors. If they ask you about it, they're going to ask how many priors you've been
believe it's
convicted of.
two.
This is what your rap sheet says.
It's
Is that accurate?
ABEL.
And the DA said, Your Honor, he keeps accusing me of prepping these witnesses. I'm not saying shit, which is exactly what they should have said. I am paraphrasing. This DA did not say that.
Jurisdiction, Your Honor.
This DA said, given what he said, I'd rather we do it in open court.
It has yet to be verified and proven for
So the
record.
court is going to advise the witness
For the record.
in open court. Mr. Brooks, that's how we all feel. This is how we all feel. You have done this to
On the
yourself.
stand, or you're gonna call Mr. Hayes first, just so I know what to do when he comes in.
So the DA was,
I can't find paperwork from Mr. Hayes. Can
bummer.
a police report or something be provided?
No, it's in your
Yes, I'm
boxes.
gonna call Mr. Hayes first.
Your lawyer should have it. Your lawyer
Yes,
should have it.
We will
No!
accommodate that request. It'll just take me a minute, Your Honor, to find it.
It's in his box.
I'll have to have it printed and brought
No.
over.
Why are there no consequences in this world? He,
I will give you permission to email it to Teresa, and she can print it in the courtroom.
He
That will assist.
It's
has
part of
everything.
a 700-page PDF, so I can't just email one page.
he has everything.
I see.
At least I don't know how to do that. Copy and paste it into a Word document.
That's all right, you can do it the way that you need to.
Don't give him a Word document. What the fuck could go wrong if he has access to a Word
Mr.
document of a police
Lezcano, I'm
report?
just gonna have
Everything.
You, for a moment.
Stop it. He was
take a
given
seat.
everything.
You're not gonna testify just yet. but
If he
just
can't
come up
find
and
it,
take a seat.
that's
In
on
the
him.
box For now, I'm not gonna have you come up to the witness stand.
Stop
I want
it.
to- Everyone can have a seat. I want to advise you that I'm aware you have a prior record. And so for purposes of testimony, I've made a determination that if asked, have you been convicted of a crime? Your answer should be yes. And then if someone asks the follow-up, how many times, the answer to that.
Let him
is
see his
yes.
rap sheet and verify it's
You
his.
heard me say that? You understand that? Yes. All right.
Let
thank
him
you. I'm
verify
not
it's
sure
his
that
rap
was
sheet.
called next, but I wanted to do that while I didn't have the jury here. You can go back out into the hallway then. Thank you.
Let him verify it.
All right, then, let's have the jury brought out, please.
The DA dude is who I'm keeping my eye on. Bart asked a great question. I was going to pull it up. I've only seen it in traffic court, not in a felony trial. In traffic court, it happens. Amber said I'm a 2L and I still wouldn't represent myself. I want someone with decades of experience. Me too. It's like Kim Kardashian being like, oh, I'll negotiate my own contracts now. No, don't do that. I have lawyers. I mean, I think it probably costs me a little bit less because it takes me less time to talk to them and we don't have as much back and forth and I don't need to be on the phone as much because I understand what they're saying, but I have lawyers. I don't want to do everything myself either. He has everything.
All right.
Make him deal with it. Oh. London was like, if this was LA, they say hell no. The amount that they are coddling him, I think right now they're just trying to get through it without another outburst. Truly. Truly. I think they're just trying to get through it. I can't wait to go to football tonight. This dude's exhausting me. I want to hug my children. I want to make a hot toddy. Ooh, or a spiced apple cider. I want to answer my text
Thank you,
messages.
everyone. Please be seated. The defense may call its next witness.
I see all your super chats about Kanye West. I haven't pulled up anything because it's been happening while I'm doing this. So I will take a look about Kanye hiring Camille Vasquez later. But
Jason.
this man literally had a witness in the courtroom that they could have just called and was
We'll have
like,
the
no,
witness brought in.
I want the other one. I want the other one. just because it's like you hold up for your kid, like you're you know, a black sweatshirt and a blue sweatshirt, and they're like, I want the gray one. Okay, I'm gonna answer some questions while we're doing this. So super chats, I have seen it.
Is it Haynes or Hayes?
I can't help you. Am I gonna cover the Spacey verdict? He was found not liable. I updated a note on yesterday's
Good afternoon, sir.
podcast.
If you would please make your way to the witness stand, which is on my right. Upper riser.
I see that.
When
I
you
haven't
get
looked at the
there,
Kanye case.
Please remain standing. Raise
At
your
all
right
yet.
hand. My clerk Teresa, who's across from you, will swear you in.
TCS, ESQ, that's very sweet. Thank you. That's very kind.
The whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Thank you, sir. Please have a seat.
Barbara, you're welcome.
The first thing I will ask you to do is to state your first and last names for the record and spell each.
Jason, Jason, Hayes, Hay.
Oh, Jason, sweetheart, we
Thank
can't hear you at
Go ahead,
all.
sir, your witness.
You need to go ahead and lean the fuck forward. Lean in. You're welcome. Yay, Bestie Mitchell going to law school. We need good lawyers. Law school's not for everyone, but if it might be for you, you can do it.
I accept for value and return for value this document for the record.
Everybody asks me what that means. I don't know what he means by that. I don't know what he means by that, but they gave him the police report. What I'm guessing is the defense
Good
attorneys
afternoon, Mr. Hayes.
have not prepped this
Is
yet.
that how you pronounce it, Hayes?
Yep.
What do you do for a living?
Joe Lawrence, thank you. You're welcome to come subscribe over on YouTube too.
Sales associate for a food broker, Damon Worldwide,
Great.
Been doing that for a long time?
21 years.
Yes, a long time.
He's trying to create rapport with the witnesses. Do you see it? The smile? He's trying to create witness rapport.
The evening of November 21st, 2021. You recall that evening pretty well?
Fairly well, yes.
What were you doing that evening?
Went to the parade.
No, I know it's a sovereign
You
citizen buzzword, but I don't know
Go
what
to
they
the parade with family,
intend with
friends?
it.
Oh, went
That's
there
what I
with my
meant.
daughter.
I don't know what they intend and want to have happen.
Do you recall what time you arrived?
30 minutes before the parade started.
Literally, if you asked me what time I got anywhere, I'd be like, fuck if I know.
Were you scheduled to do any marching in the parade itself,
No.
or just spectating?
This
Yes.
witness needs to let him finish the question. That question was compound. But the witness needs to let him finish the question before he answers.
Did you say yes to being a spectator?
He did.
Yes,
Thank
that's what
you.
I thought he said.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure there was.
Yeah, he answered. He answered. Anything unusual catch your eye that day that you recall?
Yes.
And what did you see?
Besides the parade,
Yeah, I'm sorry. That
We're
that was
laughing?
unusual that caught your eye.
What else did you see?
well, where we were,
There was
yes,
a red car.
A red truck came through.
That mowed people down and killed them.
Where it honked and swerved.
I guess I want to back up a little bit. Where were you positioned at that
We
time?
were all the way at the beginning of the parade.
Okay.
Route.
Like it was Main and a corner of Main and White Rock.
Okay. And you said you observed this vehicle.
Notice though?
Honked and swerved.
Yes.
Notice.
Where did it swerve from?
No, that calls
Inside?
for speculation.
Where did it swerve from?
Speculation.
Where?
Or was it? I guess the correct question would be,
Speculation. This is speculation. Don't do this.
why did it swerve?
That calls for speculation.
I don't
Object.
know. I wasn't driving. I don't know what his intentions were.
They should have objected. It was a good answer, but they should have objected. I don't know what the point of this witness is. We don't have a clear point of any of these witnesses.
And
He's trying to fumble around to find
stated that the
questions.
vehicle honked. Was that just a single honk, or was it?
This
a
is one of the
beep, beep, or
This is one of the
One
first
honk.
witnesses that talked about hearing a honk.
Do you recall stating that it honked several times?
I don't
And
recall.
when you were initially.
This was before
recall.
it got all the way into the parade route. Why are they letting it go? I don't know. The defendant might have been so difficult that
well,
they're just
before we get to
trying
that.
to move.
Did you
And
see
let
where the
it move.
vehicle went after it honked and swerved?
Yes, it kept on going straight down Main, east, well, the same route to the parade.
Towards the people?
Did you get a description of who was driving the vehicle you saw that
I
night?
did not.
Did you get a license plate?
I did not.
Do you recall if the vehicle had any tinted windows?
No.
And I'm assuming at some point you either were interviewed by law enforcement or seek to be interviewed by law enforcement.
That's compound.
I did, by a detective.
Another witness talked about honks later on in the parade
And
route,
do you recall if that was the same evening?
but I think the
or-
car was,
It was not the
it was
same.
later on in the parade route.
So
It was a
that
couple
day's
days
prior.
after.
Yeah.
This is the first one when it got to the beginning of the parade route, because the other one was way at the end. These are witnesses that were identified by his defense team before the defense team was yeeted by
Do you
him when he
recall in
represented
that
himself.
interview, that you
So
had
these are why
with
they're
the
defense witnesses to
detective
talk about the horn. He's,
stating that your kids were playing in the roadway and the operator of the vehicle honked the horn several times and veered to the left around the kids?
Yes,
So in
He's
your
trying to
opinion,
say
it
he
wasn't
was-
trying to strike the kids.
correct.
like
yes.
wrong way on the road, that he had no intent, which is fair. That's what you need to prove, no intent.
And after it continued, I think you said east.
Yep,
Would that be correct? East.
yep.
Did you see the vehicle strike anyone? When
I
you,
did not, no.
I would stop there. I would just stop there. He told you what he saw. He beeped, he swerved around kids. It gives you room to argue, hey, I
Do you
wasn't trying to
recall
hit
what side of
anybody.
the street the vehicle was traveling on at that
It
time?
was on the right side.
On the right side.
Yeah, the cough is hard, but
So we were on the north side of the road.
nope, don't add
So
anything.
the right side would be.
Yep.
Negative, Ghost Rider. Just don't answer what's asked.
Did you see the vehicle stay on the north side of the road for the duration of the time that you observed it?
Yes,
Hi, Lars.
So you never saw it go to the other side of the road, or
no,
I think he sped up at one point. Kimmy asked, what is yeeted? Yeeted is now in the dictionary, so I feel like I get to say it. Yeeted means to throw with force, but I use it to remove, to get rid of. I use it in a lot of context. So, after hitting the first person by continuing on, isn't that intent? I think in this situation, it will be argued as premeditation for the willful homicides.
no further.
Same with
questions at
speeding
this
up.
time?
Good. Sit down.
You got any cross?
Yes.
Just briefly. Good afternoon.
They've
Mr.
got to
Hayes.
ask about the
Thank
the
Thank you for your attendance, sir.
swerving.
Mr.
that an
Hayes, do you
Android watch?
remember seeing a police officer at this intersection as well?
I don't recall.
Okay. Do you remember writing in your report or telling the police officer
He didn't write a report.
that a police officer chased the vehicle on foot?
Objection, leading.
Overruled, it's cross. Ma'am.
It's cross.
I do remember that I thought I saw a police chasing after the car on foot.
Okay. And do you remember also telling the same officer that the SUV
Yes, there is.
took off down the street and that it accelerated?
Yes,
Objection.
Is that,
Hold on, there's been.
Objection. I don't like the answer.
I guess the objection to be what officer is being referred to. Was
That's not an objection.
Overruled, the statement, continue asking the question.
I guess I was asking what.
No.
was that referred to?
Overruled. Overruled. Then you stop talking.
Interview officer.
Your objection is noted, it's overruled, the statement.
No
asked
speaking
the question
objections.
voted.
Shush.
Okay,
Is that your recollection, sir, that the vehicle sped off and accelerated away?
Yes.
Objection speculative.
Overruled.
Do you also recall telling
He knows
the
what speculative is
officer
now.
who interviewed you that the driver of the vehicle had a dark complexion
She's
and a
loud
beard?
now.
Yes.
Is that accurate with your recollection of the driver?
Yes.
But you didn't see a face, you couldn't
No.
identify anybody
leading.
beyond those descriptions, correct?
Cross.
There's been an objection to leading, it's overruled. The
It's
witness may answer.
cross.
No.
All right, thank you, sir. Those were all my questions.
Good.
Thank you. Any redirect?
Oh,
sir?
God, no.
Briefly, very briefly. You made a reference to the driver of the vehicle having dark complexion. What would you consider a dark complexion?
That's a very fair question.
Dark complexion. I don't know.
It is kind of hard. Did you notice
pale.
any clothing?
I did
on
not
the driver?
know.
Did you notice any hair?
No.
No further questions?
Good.
All right, thank you. You may step down.
Yeah, there's a lot of mirroring that goes on with him, which is why the judge needs to be very mindful of the mirroring. Every time the judge
Defense may call its next witness, please.
adds more knowledge, it becomes a problem, and not in the right way because he doesn't fully appreciate what the judge is saying. So he should have asked darker than my
Quick question
complexion.
before I do. Who's supposed to be arriving at 3:30? Just so I know.
Sir, I am not your secretary.
Badiats and Urel will be here at 3:30. Mr. Lezcano is here now, Your Honor.
Thank you.
I knew it was here now. Just trying to get clarity.
You don't need to talk back.
Mr. Lezcano?
It would appear so. He's the one that's here.
All right, then he may.
Ugh,
Defense is calling Abel Lezcano.
rude. He is the one that's here. Ugh. The fate just
Defense is calling Abel Lezcano.
All right, very well. We'll have him brought in. Thank you.
the one DA guy is kind of how I'm monitoring how the prosecution team feels, cause his face, it's awful sass. It's just. I have felt like that in court. I'm not going to say I've never felt that way. I have felt that way.
Good
I have felt
afternoon,
that way.
Sir, if you would please make your
You
way
don't get to
the
do it.
witness stand.
I felt like half of being a lawyer was controlling my face, and even then I got yelled at about my face. Or lack of control over my face, because there were times the face did things. That's why I could never be a judge.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony
They would
you're about
know.
to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
The face would tell them
Thank you, sir.
that I thought they were stupid. The face would tell them.
First thing I will have you do is
That I'm
to
not having
state
it.
your first and last names for the record and spell each.
Abel Lezcano, ABEL LAZCANO.
Thank you. Your witness.
Thanks, Mr. Lezcano.
Good afternoon, Mr. Lezcano.
I don't know about
What do you
that.
do for a living currently?
I'm a hairdresser.
It's not the answer I was expecting. Okay.
No judgment
Get it.
whatsoever on this question.
Why are you
Have
prefacing
you
your
ever been
question?
convicted of a crime?
Yes, I have.
And how many times?
7.
Good. Out of the way. Don't go. Move on. Move on. He didn't have
Do
to
you
ask it because the
recall
prosecution might not cross him.
The night of November 21st, 2021 pretty well? I know it's been a minute, but
Best as I can, yeah.
He's also trying to mirror this witness.
what were you
His
doing that
speech
evening,
changes
if you
witness to
recall?
witness.
The Christmas parade?
Huh.
Were you marching in the parade? Or,
No, I was watching it.
who were
You
there
learn
with,
a
family,
lot.
friends?
My wife and my daughter.
Let him finish the
Uh,
question. You
do
learn a
recall
lot.
Where you were positioned to watch the parade?
I was standing in front of the Corey Insurance on Main Street.
Okay. Is that part of Main Street close to like a side street?
Yeah,
If
he
you- if you
changes the
recall.
formality with the different
500
witnesses. He changes the way he talks with the different witnesses. He changes the vernacular
Do
he
you
uses,
recall the side streets being barricaded?
his
during the
formality,
parade?
or how casual he is.
Yeah, I don't remember.
It's interesting to watch. It's interesting to watch the way he is truly mirroring the witnesses, like giving back the way
Do
that
you
they're
recall
giving
what
to
time
him.
you arrived at the parade that evening?
So,
Yeah,
thank you all
just
for not
started
diagnosing. I
whatever
know it's
time it
hard.
was at.
The mods, we have a very strict policy on diagnosing and name calling. I know it's behavior that is
You recall
consistent with
something,
some
other than the
diagnoses.
catching your attention that day?
So we thank you for keeping that in mind.
People getting hurt, yeah.
And what did you see that day, if you recall?
I saw a red SUV plow over a bunch of people.
There's that.
And did you see the driver of this SUV you're referring to?
Yeah, you're standing right there.
Well, there it is. That's a whoop. That's a whoop. There it is. You're standing right there. Do you think he wanted to say motherfucker? I want to know. You're standing right there.
And how many people did you see in the vehicle?
Oof.
Just one, the driver.
You. Say it. Just say it. You're allowed to say it.
So,
Say it. You.
do you recall?
Y'all
flagging
asking me
down,
why this
law
is his
enforcement
witness?
vehicle that evening?
I
Yeah, I
don't
do.
know. I don't know why this is his
And
witness.
do you recall what you told the officer that evening?
Not very well.
Yeah, we don't always get to
I'm
see the
gonna
court
attempt to,
reporter's face. This
See if anything.
the court reporter must be
brings back recollection.
exhausted.
First, do you recall the name of the officer you flagged down that evening?
Officer Moss.
Did he say Moss?
Do you recall telling Officer Moss
He did.
that you observed 3 or 4 people in the SUV as it passed you?
I don't remember that.
And he still doesn't know how to impeach him with a police report, so it's not really going to help him. Danielle, I hear Soldier Boy as well. My in-ears just got mad at me for trying to do that.
To your recollection, the SUV that you saw, did it have tinted windows?
I don't remember.
The court reporter needs those breaks. Oh, the witness is completely relaxed. The witness, to be fair, the witness also has 7 prior criminal convictions, so it's fair to assume that this witness has seen the inside of a courtroom at least once or twice before.
And do you remember what the description was that evening that you gave to law
So
enforcement?
he seems very relaxed.
I told him it was a red SUV.
He's
The
not going to be
description
scared to
of
defend
the
it.
driver, do you remember that?
I know he was a black male.
Is that all you recall about your description?
That's
Yeah, I'm
all
sure.
I remember.
I'm sure. Exhausted. People are going to be like, so what's the craziest thing you've ever done at work? And this court reporter is going to be like, welp, there was this pro per. Oh, they might need to switch out court reporters. I wouldn't be surprised if they needed to rotate them day by day with how this trial's going.
After seeing this vehicle, what did you do?
We left. I got my family out of there.
Fair. Yeah, he doesn't know
And
what
where
he's.
did you go?
He doesn't know the point of these
We
witnesses.
headed back to the car.
Do you recall where your vehicle was parked?
I believe it's the Lindholm or what building. It's on
Okay.
Maple Street.
And did you see the vehicle stop on Maple Street?
Which vehicle?
Fair.
The SUV that you claim you saw?
Oh, no, I didn't see it stop, no. It kept going through the parade.
It kept going through the parade.
And speaking with...
He's not backing down from what he said.
Is it Detective Moss?
How would he
Speaking
know?
with law enforcement that evening,
The last witness
do you
did
recall advising
give more than he needed to.
law enforcement that you observed 3 black subjects running from the vehicle?
No, I don't remember that.
If
There-
it pleases the court, I would like to
No.
show
He's trying to refresh his recollection.
the witness this. I'm referring to page 4 exactly.
So he's trying to refresh the witness's recollection.
Statement this witness personally wrote.
No. It's a
I
long...
believe it's what.
No.
I don't think he wrote it himself.
Correct.
It's a summary written by another person.
By
This is the police report.
I don't know if it's Officer Moss or Detective Moss. I'm not sure if.
He wants to show him the
Which
police
rank is-
report. Now he wants something from the court. It's a totally different
Continuing with your questions, I'm gonna deny the request that you
demeanor.
showed the exhibit or the paperwork to the witness.
He doesn't know how, but this is why the defense attorneys wanted to bring this witness in. This witness has
Do you
a
recall
prior
making
inconsistent
statements
statement,
to Detective Moss
and he can't impeach him because he doesn't know how.
that you observed one where it says one was described as running southbound
read
on
it,
Maple
sir.
towards College
Objection.
Avenue? Do you recall that?
No, I don't.
There's nothing he can do.
Do you recall stating that the other 2 were described as running in a westerly direction from the rear of 338 Maple Street?
No.
It's like, I don't remember saying any of that. And to be fair,
Do you
this witness could be
recall-
looking at the wrong police report, or this defendant.
Stating that one
be looking at the
black
wrong one.
subject was described as tall, wearing a blue top and blue and black pants, while the other subjects were described as 2 short black males wearing sweatpants.
Barely, a little bit of that.
I think the previous public
So-
defenders are probably shaking their heads that they had some things to
Wait.
argue, and it's just
Which of these subjects do you minimally recall wearing those items that evening?
No, you asked me if I remember people running, and I said no. I remember describing those people to him.
he's
So
very
where did you
consistent.
observe those?
Standing by the vehicle,
Very consistent.
where I found the vehicle, where I spotted it.
Just so we have clarity, describe.
It could have been anyone running, I
Describe the
agree.
subjects you saw that evening standing by the vehicle.
I don't remember that good. I mean, you were describing them, so it brought back a little bit, but I can't tell you. That was too long ago.
That's very fair. Is it too late for Brooks to ask for a lawyer? Yes. He wanted to represent himself. You get what you get. He's getting the representation he asked for, every bit of it. And he's
And how
realizing
did you come upon the
that he can't
vehicle
do
at
what he wants
the-
to do because he doesn't know how.
The address of 338 Maple Street that evening.
I was walking my family back to the car.
So he's getting exactly what he asked
Yeah,
for and what he
safety.
wanted.
So I was keeping an eye out, and I spotted it.
This witness, I think, was
Do you
for
recall
doubt.
stating that you saw the SUV reverse into a driveway?
No.
Were there perhaps multiple people running from the car? Could somebody have
Do you
also been
recall-
driving?
Do you recall
Doubt.
why that would be reported?
No.
At least something to argue.
When I found it, it was parked. Or...
Nope, there's no question pending, sir. We were doing so well. Y'all good. You don't need to help him. Nobody needs to help him. He wanted to do this. Jess, it's my understanding that he denied that, but also this jurisdiction might not allow that. So there's kind of two things there. It was a whole day hearing. I've not gone back and watched the entire hearing because we picked it up at the defense case. So. But I think what he's
Do you
trying.
recall when you initially had the interaction with Detective Moss? Do you recall leading him to where the vehicle was ultimately found?
Yeah.
Yeah. Most attorneys would clarify, does that mean yes? But I get him. I get what he means. I get him. This dude's like, what do you want from me? What else would you like?
Do you recall yelling at subjects standing outside of a building where, or near where the vehicle was that evening?
I remember asking them. I don't remember yelling at them.
His testimony's been really clear and easy to follow. I dig this witness. He's like, I'm done. I'm not playing with you. Don't come for me. Like, literally. I like this witness. This witness might stand up and be like, I'm done with this questioning. All right, we're going to try to do some...
Do you recall why? Do you recall why the report says that?
Why would he know what the report says? That's speculation on a police report.
Advised Detective Moss.
I think basic
that there
duty
are
is
3 black subjects, specifically black subjects, running from the vehicle.
with
No,
regard
I
to
don't remember.
jail designation. He's really, really trying to impeach this witness, and he can't. A defense attorney can, and a defense attorney could have. So other judges, I'm sure, have consoled this judge. I use Olaplex. I was on their podcast, and they sent me a bunch of shampoo, and I've loved it. So that's what I've been using. There's nothing the judge can do to deem him unfit to represent himself based on his behavior. No, because his behavior is intentional. He's not unfit. Like, legally, he's not unfit.
Were you yourself injured in this incident that evening?
No.
Oh, I saw the rant yesterday too. They've been trying to support the judge in the way that they can, which is an open court. They can't have ex parties, but they're like, this judge has been fair. He keeps trying to impugn this court and everybody in it, and he shouldn't be. Ivy Maggie said, great insider look at the dynamics and strategies. Thank you. Therapists going through practicum. Their supervisor will review video of their sessions with patients consent. Is there something like that in law school? There might be now. There wasn't when I was there. At the DA's office, we would sit in on other people's trials all the time. Though I would, if I was in law school now, I would definitely be watching some of these trials and maybe some of the commentary on these trials for sure. This trial can be summed up with Shaggy saying it wasn't me and Soldier Boy saying, you, Soldier Boy. Yes. There was a meme on TikTok yesterday, I tell you.
Stating that.
Fell into TikTok yesterday.
Well, let me back up for a minute.
Of all the different TikTok songs. And that's
Did
my
you
head.
speak with another detective that evening, if you recall?
Yes, I did.
Do you recall if that was Detective Coates?
I don't remember his name.
So it'd be fair to say that you spoke with 2 different law enforcement officers that evening.
Yes. Boa Roa. I am not going to answer that yet. I'll talk about impeachment another time.
In your interview with Detective
I'll talk about it
Coates.
after this trial. I don't ever want to be instructive. He's not doing it. And he probably doesn't have the
In
witnesses
reference
subpoenaed
to
to
the
do it.
vehicle that you saw that evening, do you recall telling
It's already
Detective
compound.
Coates
It's already compound.
that it appeared there were 3 or 4 people in the Ford Escape as it passed
He's
you?
trying to get there,
No, I don't remember that.
but he can't.
Do you recall in your interview with Detective Coates that evening stating that you could not provide any description of the occupants other than that they appeared to be African American?
Yeah, I remember saying that.
So it'd be fair to say that you observed African Americans in this vehicle that you saw, correct?
The reason why I came up with 3 or 4 people is because when I was walking by and I saw the car, there was 2 or 3 black males standing by the vehicle, and there was at least 3 or 4 more on the porch. So I figured they were by the vehicle. It must have been the ones trying to hide the vehicle because they were standing in front of it or real close to it.
So he thought they were trying to hide the
In your
vehicle.
opinion, did it look like they were nervous or attempting to hide
Well, everybody was running past them and walking really fast, and they were just standing around there. They were the only ones not doing much. So yeah,
Makes
they
sense.
stood out.
Now, this is the
That's
the
fair.
question actually
He
was
answered.
in reference to when you spoke with Detective Coates that evening, and is in reference to seeing the vehicle in the parade as it passed you. Do you recall at that point, while at the parade that evening, do you recall stating to Detective Coates that it appeared that there were 3 or 4 people in the Ford Escape as it passed you during the parade that evening?
No, I don't remember that.
I think they are trying to establish that somebody else could have been driving.
Any reason why the Detective Coates would
He's
report that that's what
speculative.
that's what you stated to him?
Calls for
Like I said
speculation.
before, I saw 2 or 3 people
So
by
I think
the
that was
vehicle.
the point.
So I assumed
They should have objected to
were
that.
with the vehicle. So they must have been in the vehicle during the parade. I saw the driver going by because he hit somebody right in front of us.
So I saw the driver because he hit somebody right in front of us. Okay. So I think the point of this defense witness for the defense attorneys was to say there's differences between the witnesses' recollections. Some witnesses say no one's in the car. This guy might have said there were 3 to 4 people in the car originally.
Do you recall
So that brings in
in
doubt
your-
of some of the other witness testimony.
interview with Detective Coates that evening stating that
Oh yes, he was definitely
3
pictured driving.
individuals,
The defense
and
attorneys
I'm
have to do
referring who
something.
you saw next to the vehicle, so it's clarification. The 3 individuals who were standing in a line, shoulder to shoulder, as African American males.
Yeah,
So it's fair to say that's what you observed that evening.
I saw at least 2 of them. And it looked like they were standing in front of it.
More hoodies. It might be that the prosecution just wants to let it move along and it doesn't really hurt their case at this point. And they also might want to not feel heavy-handed. They could object once in a while. It wouldn't kill them, I don't think. And I don't think it would lower the jury's opinion of them either. Question, who is the man with the beard sitting next to the DA's table? I have no idea. So I'll look when they pan back over that way, if they pan back over that way. Do you know why he's calling these witnesses?
And
I don't think he
during
does.
that interview with Detective Coates that evening,
I think it's because it's who his lawyers were
do you
going to
recall
call.
stating to Detective Coates that you may be
Some
able
places
to
do.
recognize the older male? So I'm assuming
Don't assume.
one of the individuals that you saw standing shoulder to shoulder was a older male.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I don't know. If I was the lawyer that wasn't on this case, I don't know if I'd want to watch it at all because it's just a mess. I don't know how I'd feel about that. Question, what do you think of the judge? I think the judge could exert stronger control over Brooks and should stop arguing back with him. The arguing back encourages him. He wants to argue. Question, do the witnesses he's supposed to be calling have to be present at all times at the courthouse? They talked about that yesterday. They were trying to organize when they were going to be there. And he was fighting back with the DAs. I don't have to give you my witness order. And they're like, we need to figure out when people need to be here so they're not here all day.
Any
So
reason why multiple? Well,
They're trying.
I'm not gonna say multiple. 2. Any reason why the 2
calls for speculation.
detectives that you spoke with that night both reported that you stated you saw 3 black subjects running from the vehicle?
Calls for speculation.
No.
And what does running from mean? Running from the vehicle like it was about to hit them? Or running from out like they were in the vehicle? Like it's such a vague way to ask the question. Because running
And
from the vehicle could
during
mean
the
running away
parade
from the
incident,
vehicle.
Were you or anyone you were with injured that evening?
No.
This court feed does not have closed captions.
No further questions at this time.
Does that mean this witness is subject to recall?
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Lezcano.
Good afternoon.
Sir,
She looks like she has a headache.
you said you watched the parade near Curry Insurance, is that correct?
Yeah, right in front.
Okay. Do you remember, you said you saw the SUV strike some people in the parade?
Yeah.
Yes? Do you remember what group
Control, I think.
of people in the parade Can you remember anything about the name or the banner or the costumes or anything like that?
Objection leading.
It's cross-examination. That's literally the whole fucking point.
Objection.
Grounds?
Yeah, no, I don't.
What are the grounds for your objection, Mr. Brooks?
Do you remember seeing the SUV strike more than one person?
Yeah.
Objection speculative.
About how many people did you see the SUV strike, sir?
Objection speculative.
He's gonna
those
object to every
crowds, I mean,
single
when I was coming
question.
through, because I was standing over my daughter and my wife, they were sitting on the curb. I saw it coming through. And
Full
that person
speculation
looked like
about
he was
the
just
headache.
pushing people out of the way, and then it just kept swerving back and it was just plowing everybody out of the way until it got to in front of us. Then it actually hit somebody and it just did like a cartwheel in the air.
There's
You
also
remember that?
there's
Yeah,
a
it was
reason to
in front of
cross.
us.
There's a reason to cross this
While
witness.
the witness was giving the answer, not the last answer, but the one prior to that, he had his right hand in the air.
Yeah.
Directioning his hand from right to left.
The attorney should do
describing,
that.
the vehicle coming from right to left. And then when he said he saw someone go into the air, he was like twirling his fingers as if to say it kind of tumbled in the air. All right, go ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you for the comments on the cup.
So,
It's the
Mr.
glow in the
Lezcano,
dark one
I
from
want to
this
talk about the
Halloween
moment when you located this
found
vehicle
it
on Maple, okay?
at the
I'm
LaGuardia
gonna
Airport.
ask, Madam Clerk, could you please turn on the AV system? We're gonna put up State's Exhibit 65.
Great, we've got exhibits. Exhibit. I
ahead.
found it at LaGuardia. I yelped. I was so excited. These were out of stock almost everywhere, and a few of you that live near me were so kind to be like, I saw that at this Starbucks and that Starbucks.
Objection to the
So-
relevancy of Exhibit 65.
Great, it's cross-examination, bro.
Noted, overruled. It's been
Exhibity.
received, the state may.
Exhibity dibbity.
All right, this total clip is 36 seconds, but before we begin to play it, sir, do you recognize the area on the screen that's
Yeah.
shown in this picture?
Yeah, I believe that's Central Middle School.
Where?
I like this witness. I
Right
like the
up
way
where
he's
the stairs
testifying.
is.
Okay, the red brick on the left side of the picture?
Yeah.
Objection
Okay.
speculative.
Overruled, his answer may stand, he said, I believe.
I know where this
And
is.
would you agree with me, the house where the SUV was found was up in this area here where I just put the green dot on the screen?
So the gentleman sitting near the
Yeah.
DA's desk
Objection
is
leading.
the
Overruled.
investigator.
You may answer.
Leading.
That looks right,
Yup.
correct, sir?
Objection leading.
Overruled.
All right, we're gonna, clear the screen, please, and we're gonna play this entire clip for 36 seconds.
Look, the
Please watch
new
and see if you see yourself or any of your family members in this clip.
Delta
Objection to the
terminal.
relevancy
at
of this
LaGuardia.
video to this particular witness.
Overruled.
He's in it,
You may
bro.
Play the clip.
The Delta terminal at
Overruled on
LaGuardia
what grounds, Your Honor?
is rad. It was gorgeous. It was so nice. And yes, it completely glows in the dark. So they're asking if he sees himself in this video.
Is that a tacit agreement?
He means tacit, and a tacit agreement means nothing. They're just ignoring him at this point. Does anyone else come into view? There's somebody down there. Okay.
Sir, did you see yourself or your family in that clip?
Objection speculative.
Overruled.
No, I did not.
Okay.
It's
Now,
foundational.
you said you did see, by the time you walked past the car, you saw 2 or 3 black males standing near the car, right?
Objection mischaracterization of this. He said 3. Specifically
No,
said the number.
he said 3 or 4.
Overruled.
That does not
You also
misstate
said you
the
saw
testimony.
2 or 3, what you thought to be black males on the porch of the residence there, correct?
Objection stated it was black males. Asked and answered.
Overruled. The
It's
witness may
cross.
answer.
He's allowed
No.
to be
I'm
asked a
sorry,
question.
go ahead.
No, there was 2 or 3 standing by the vehicle.
Okay.
Yeah, and
then
Brooks
on
is
the
like
porch,
center
there
of the
was maybe
ring.
3 or 4 or more people. I don't know if they were. I'm sure they were white, but
Okay.
I was trying to not make it obvious because at the time, I believed that they were with the vehicle, so I didn't want them to see that I saw them. So I just did what I
Understood.
thought was right at the time.
Sure.
The chat has
You
been
happen
wanting to
know
go
the
to his
people
hair
that live
salon.
at this house.
That's what I've
Objection
seen.
speculative.
Overruled.
No, I did not.
These are foundational
Would
questions.
it be
Do you
reasonable,
know?
do you think, Mr. Lezcano, that people living in the house heard the crash and came outside and That's who you saw standing there by the vehicle?
Objection, there was never any crash mentioned.
I'll sustain, calls for speculation.
He mentioned hitting people. Wouldn't that be a
Mr.
crash?
Lezcano, is it possible that the people you saw standing near the vehicle were in fact just neighbors that saw the vehicle the same way you did?
It's
Yeah.
possible.
You described that at the time you went by on Maple Street, there was a lot of people running around in the area, is that correct?
Objection, mischaracterization of testimony.
Overruled.
He's
Yes,
trying to
it
get to
was.
misstates the
And these are
testimony,
people
but he's
hurrying away
he's
from the
basically
parade
there.
with their families, trying to get to safety just like you were, correct?
Objection, speculative.
He's going to object to everything.
Overruled, the witness may answer.
Yes.
You didn't see anything like that in State's Exhibit 65, did you?
No, I did not.
Okay. You said on direct examination that you saw the driver of the
Thank you so
SUV in
much.
the parade, is that right?
Yes, I did.
I'm
And you see
invested
that
into
driver present in this courtroom here today, please?
Objection, speculative.
Overruled.
Yes, he's sitting right over there.
Are you sure about that, sir?
Yes.
Objection,
I don't like being identified.
speculative.
Overruled.
He's not speculating it's you. He's saying it's you. He's identifying you. That's how that works.
You
And
said
it
that.
mischaracterizes the testimony.
No, he said it was you
That
earlier.
was not testified to before on direct.
That's exactly what he testified before on direct.
Objections are
He said
overruled.
you.
Believe the witness
You.
already answered. Go ahead.
Oh,
Did you happen to notice in Exhibit 65 the red SUV in that video clip that you watched?
No.
You didn't see it at
Couldn't
all,
see
did
it,
you?
no.
Okay, just wondered. Mr. Lezcano, have you and I ever spoken about this case, sir?
No.
What about Attorney Basie here to my right? You and her ever talk about this case or your testimony?
now the DA just wants to make her point.
Overruled.
The DA is just like trying to point
Mr.
out.
Richow on the end, did you ever talk to
She
him
didn't need
about
to
this
ask.
testimony, sir?
Objection, hearsay.
Sir, you have to let the question finish before you object.
No.
All right, thank you, sir. I don't have any other questions.
Nobody ever talked to
Thank you.
him.
Any redirect?
Yep.
No,
Go ahead.
damn it. After this witness, y'all, I'm gonna have to be out. Because we got football
You
tonight.
stated that you saw the driver, correct?
Valerie, we are all friends here.
Of the
This is our
SUV that you saw that
community.
day, correct?
Yes.
And how did the driver look that day you saw him?
Like
Scruffy,
you-
He had a scruffy beard, and he was a black male.
Did you see what the driver was
This
wearing?
is fair questioning going after the
I don't remember.
identification. It's fair.
Did you see if the driver had any hair?
I don't remember that either.
He had a
See
lot of
if the
dreads.
driver had anything noticeable about their appearance, tattoos, scars, marks, anything like that?
Tattoo.
No.
And that's an honest answer because he could
I
have
saw
said,
the side, the profile.
he could have
the side.
said, there's a tattoo over
You were
your
flying fast down that street.
eyebrow, but it would have been on the other side from the car. I don't know what the court feed just did.
And he was a black male and had a scruffy beard.
Excuse me, court feed?
First thing I told my wife is he was a black guy driving.
So he's going to the ID and trying to challenge the ID, which is a fair line of questioning. So, anyway. You guys, Natalie Lawyer Chick is going live later today, so you will be live. There's a live on
And
her channel.
Do you recall how
Um,
long you were able
But yeah,
to get
I'm sorry to have to abandon y'all.
a
I got a little
side
time.
view, as you called it, of the alleged driver?
As you do when one drives.
No, it had to be a couple seconds.
Thank you.
And in a couple seconds' time, you were able to make out the driver's profile and race
This is the point of the questioning.
just by a couple seconds.
This is the point of the
Yeah.
questioning. Exactly what you said.
It's not hard. You can tell if you were white or if you were black and if you had a beard or not. That's it. I don't know what color shirt you had on. If you had hair, a hat on.
You didn't just ask,
backwards.
why are you saying it was me? Just ask, why are you saying it was me?
So that leads back to the question of, is that the only person you saw in the vehicle?
From what I remember, yes. I saw the driver.
I
Like I
run
said before, the
commentary
reason
on
why I thought there
everything,
was 3 or 4 because I saw
so I whisper a lot.
3 or 4 people around the vehicle when I spotted it.
So would it be
That's the
fair,
only reason.
would it
Yes.
be fair to say that
All of it. All of Murdaugh.
when you spoke
I don't
with
know about that.
2 different detectives that evening, the evening of the parade.
These are fair line of questioning. This might not be.
Both of those officers
The redirect,
reported that you stated
the
there were 3 or
redirect
4
has to stick to what was asked
people
in the
in
cross.
the SUV as it passed you.
So,
Is that fair
lawyer
to
you
say?
know is also streaming.
Oh, wait, can you repeat that again?
Okay. So there are a couple other lawyers that are streaming. And then I know Rob from Law and Lumber is doing
Just for
Friday Night Frenzy
clarification.
tonight later.
You already stated previously in testimony that you spoke with 2 different detectives that evening, correct?
Yes, it is.
And when people have panels and I don't know who's on the panel, I don't always recommend when I don't know who's
And
on the panel
both
because I'm very
detectives that
mindful
you
of
spoke
y'all.
with that evening,
We're not sending the
the
law nerds
evening of
somewhere where they're going to get
November
mad.
21st, 2021,
So
you stated to both of those law
I think we have the
enforcement
highest
officers,
viewed stream right
detectives,
now. Look at us
that you
go.
observed 3 or 4 people in the SUV.
Oh, Law and Crime has
Like I
more.
said before, the
They're the
reason
only
why I
one, though.
said there must have been 3 or 4 was because they were standing by a vehicle. So I assumed that they were with the vehicle. I
That's
don't
fair.
remember seeing them in the vehicle when you were hitting the people.
You stated
fair.
this to both detectives, 2 different detectives,
He is
the
frustrating.
evening of November 21st, 2021,
Always do.
and this was in relation to what you saw from the vehicle at the parade,
Lawyer knows a
not
golf tournament. Of course he does.
where the vehicle was later found. Any reason why you stated to both detectives in relation to what you saw at the parade? Why both detectives in their reports stated that you told
How would he
them
know that?
that you observed 3 or 4 people in the
Outside
SUV
the cross of scope,
at
it's
the time of the
speculative.
parade.
It is also leading. It's all,
What's your
it's
question?
so
The
objectionable.
question is, why did you report that to 2 different detectives
It's like, I don't remember that.
on the same evening?
Argumentative at this point.
Like I told you before, when I walked past the
They should have
vehicle, I
objected.
spotted more than one individual standing in front of the vehicle. So I
No, no,
assumed
no,
they
no.
were with the vehicle.
I'm
That's
sorry.
why I said they were inside.
I'm sorry.
That's why I
No.
said they were
No.
they were in the vehicle. I said there had to be at least 3 of them in the vehicle.
He said I was
That's the only
speculating.
reason I said that.
He explained it really well.
So why would you report that you saw this during the parade?
That's not what he said.
I don't know.
That's not what I said.
And during both
To the
interviews
moon.
with detectives that evening,
You get a
evening of
Let's Go
November
Ducks unless they're
21st,
playing the
2021,
Predators.
you also stated to both
Go Ducks.
detectives that you observed 3 or 4 black or African American is the word used. 3 or 4 African Americans running from the vehicle. Any reason why both detectives reported that you said that?
No, I don't remember.
No further questions.
I don't think the defendant knows well how to question because he's not a lawyer, and that's part of the problem. So I'm going to try to get through a few more questions, see what he's going to do next, and then I have to leave you all.
Additional witnesses here?
Yes, Your Honor, they're ready.
So there are more
Would that
witnesses.
be how many people?
There's 2 left.
Okay. So the 2 left on your list, your
Which
next
means
witness.
on Monday, we might get to the defendant testifying or not, or resting, and then we'll get to cross-examination.
I'm guessing that's.
I will try to stream as much as I can with it. So
Just give me 1 quick second, Your Honor. 1 quick second.
this defendant is not out on bail. This defendant is in custody. So let me see. Retired court reporter, you've inspired me to start a channel and discussed, amongst other things, courtroom procedures and trials after scribes. That's awesome, JoJo. Mama me. He deserves Judge Elizabeth Schur, Parkland shooter. He wouldn't stand a chance against her. He has definitely put this whole courtroom in a difficult spot, but the judge also could have exerted better control. This would have only made sense if the prosecution would have relied on this witness to place him in the vehicle at the time of the crime. The defense strategy would have probably been to mitigate the severity of the crimes and to raise reasonable doubt of some of the other witnesses. I don't think he's going to be able to tie this together well enough to do that. he is definitely trying to be the center of this show. This guy got offered legal assistance for free, correct? If so, why are we humoring him? He has the constitutional right to counsel. He had a public defender. He chose to represent himself. He has the right to do that. So it is not always easy to understand why defendants choose certain things, but he is choosing this, and he's choosing it again and again. Him testifying, the judge would lay the ground rules. I believe this judge would just let him do a narrative based on what I've watched. Would just let him do a narrative and hope that the prosecution objects if he says shit he shouldn't. We'll see what happens.
Prisoners need to stand. Go ahead.
Thank you for all your hard work and just being you. You're welcome. Hoping for a trial soon with your great humor and comedic reactions. Well, the next full trial that I want to do, though I'll pop into other things, the next full trial I want to do will probably be Murdaugh in January. Sorry, late to the case question. Does he have to go through a psych eval before being allowed to rep himself? No. He probably would have gone through a psych eval, though, early on in this case. Prosecutors keep getting cut off. Should they still try to get everything on the record? Yes, as best they can. When they come back from break, they need to circle back. They've been doing a really good job about that. Can the bailiff accidentally bump into the ankle zapper? I don't think that's how that works. So I imagine it has to be more intentional.
Paperwork.
It's so much paperwork. Welcome to being a lawyer. It's nothing but fucking paperwork. This stream came just in time. I'm working on my nephew's Dr. Eggman with poop on his head pinata. That's funny. That's the anger that allowed him to drive through a parade and hit 70 plus people. Yeah. So, all right, y'all. He is waiting to call his next witness. I've got to wrap the stream. It is streaming around the internet. I think he might testify. If he does, it'll probably be on Monday. Following you during trials has helped me so much emotionally. Marie, thank you so much. That is part of the reason I really, really wanted to stream at least part of this to explain, because I kept getting asked about what he's doing. And I really wanted to make sure that we had community to be in that was compassionate to talk about this case, because just speculating on his mental health isn't going to help anyone understand. Just talking about the witnesses isn't going to help anyone understand. We can actually talk about the law and do it in a kind way and make those who are from Waukesha feel welcome in a chat where they can watch this trial that has got to be weighing heavy on their entire community. And a lot of you reached out to me and put it in the comments in the chats that this is your community and that going through this has been difficult. So bringing community, and that's not just me, that's the chat, bringing community to this, I think is important, because it's easy to just yell at this defendant and be like, he's acting this way or that way, or he's crazy or whatever. But some of this is intentional, and it's important to talk about the intent and to talk about what he's doing intentionally, if it's manipulative, how he's working with these witnesses, how he's questioning them.
Go ahead.
No.
Call your next witness.
Call your witness. The judge has been very lenient,
That's how I think it is. We'll find out.
but it might create problems that the judge has given too much help. So if I didn't get to your super chat, I'm so sorry. We should use the chapter's name for that type of stare down. Yeah, it's a lot. It was definitely quite a stare down from him earlier on. And with that, you guys, we are going to have to get out of here. Thank you to the moderators. Thank you for the extra ride today, Law Nerds. I miss seeing you on Fridays. There's a new episode of the podcast out if you want to check it out. The Emily Show on your favorite podcasting app. Also here on YouTube, talking about Danny Masterson,
Ma'am, if you would
Kevin
please make your
Spacey,
way to the witness
and
stand.
Harvey Weinstein. And with that, I'm going to roll the outro and say goodbye. There's more trial to go today. I will try to stream with y'all on Monday. Follow me at the Emily Baker on social to see where I'm going to be streaming. That's where I'll keep you up to date. Bye. Connect with me everywhere. I'm at the Emily D. Baker. If you guys want to join the text, just text Emily.com. If you want to join the channel, lawnerdsunite.com. Happy to have you. Support what we do here on the YouTube.